Li Mei's Sword of Destiny. Chapter 1229. The Sky Mist Immortal Emperor's words weren't without logic. When Emperor Yu set the rules, he only said that each side would choose 100 people to participate in the adjudication battle. However, the Myriad Devil Islands only restricted immortal emperors from entering. They didn't restrict Immortal Foundation experts. This was a loophole. Even if the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor didn't allow them to enter at the same time, they could still enter in batches. Chongqing the Great had nothing to say. He was very clear that in this adjudication battle, both sides would do their best. After these people entered the Myriad Devil Islands, any possibility would appear. They could only depend on themselves. Alright, both sides will choose 100 people to enter. 10 years later, let's see how many of these people can walk out alive. The Sky Mist Immortal Emperor spoke. After that, 100 figures walked out from their side. These were none other than the participants of the adjudication battle. In front of the Evergreen Immortal Emperor, Qin Wentian and the other 100 experts all stepped forward. Both sides took out their treasures and imprinted their facial features and auras onto them. In that case, it would be impossible for the other party to deny it. If anyone steps out within 10 years, we will kill them all. How about it? The Sky Mist Immortal Emperor spoke. Sure. Chongqing the Great nodded. Since there was a time limit, they naturally wouldn't be able to exit within 10 years. If not, what meaning would there be to this adjudication battle? 10 years later, those who step out within 3 months will be counted. We have to give them some buffer time. It's impossible for them to exit on the same day. How about it? Chongqing the Great added. Sure. The Sky Mist Immortal Emperor agreed and added another rule. Alright, you guys can enter now. Chongqing the Great and the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor spoke at the same time. This Devil Gate was extremely imposing, able to allow countless people to enter at the same time. These people before them weren't a problem at all. Qin Wentian and the others continued forward. They only saw Monk Bujia standing behind Qin Wentian as he mumbled, "Seems like we boarded the wrong ship." Looking at the many powerful beings at the side, Bujia felt depressed in his heart. He was here to seek protection. Looking at the vast number of people on the other side, he was at a complete disadvantage. Qin Wentian and the others walked towards the Devil Gate and directly stepped into the light screen. A mysterious energy bore down on them. Qin Wentian only felt an incomparably tyrannical aura sweeping past him, as though it wanted to see through him completely. This caused Qin Wentian to have a feeling that the instant they entered the Devil Gate, some of the supreme existences of the Myriad Devil Islands already knew that they had entered. It's just that those supreme existences wouldn't care about ordinary cultivators. Only immortal emperors would be viewed as invaders and forbidden from entering. Buzz. When Qin Wentian reappeared, he found himself standing in the void. Looking at everything in front of him, he could only feel intense waves in his heart. Is this the Myriad Devil Islands? Qin Wentian mumbled. He glanced around him. There was no one else at all. Everyone who entered the Myriad Devil Islands had actually been separated. Is this to prevent the immortal realms from invading? Qin Wentian sighed. For those who came out from the Devil Gate, they would all appear together. However, for those who entered the Myriad Devil Islands from the outside, even if it was an army of immortal cultivators, they would still be separated. If a major power from the immortal realms invaded, it would definitely be a nightmare. Maybe this was also the reason why the Myriad Devil Islands could stand tall in the immortal realms. Myriad Devil Islands? Billions of Devil Islands? Qin Wentian stared ahead as he mumbled. His body was in the air, but it could also be said that he was below. Before him, there was an incomparably gigantic island that was as big as a main city. He couldn't see the end of it with a single glance. Not only that, this island was merely one out of the millions and millions of islands. Qin Wentian glanced in all directions, only to see that there were islands everywhere. These islands were like the millions of constellations in the starry space. It was like he came to the starry space. Each island was like a world of stars. This is too marvelous. Where did the others go? Qin Wentian spoke. This was the reason why the adjudication battle was set to last for 10 years. Most probably, this wasn't a simple head-on battle, it was a true battle of attrition. They could borrow the power of divine weapons, external forces, and even the powers of the Myriad Devil Islands. They had to use all methods to obtain victory. Qin Wentian stepped out, moving towards the island closest to him. Although it looked very close, that was because this island was simply too vast. In reality, there was still some distance between them. Even with Qin Wentian's speed, he only arrived at the edge of the island after several hours. He saw many people departing the island, heading towards the distance, as though they wanted to cross over to another island. With a flicker of his silhouette, Qin Wentian landed on the island. This island was like a boundlessly vast city. Staring at the crowd on the island, Qin Wentian had a strange look on his face. However, he soon understood. There were also countless ordinary people living on the myriad devil islands. Not all of them were like those powerful devil cultivators he saw in the Sacred Academy. For ordinary stellar martial cultivators, if they didn't unleash their devil arts, they wouldn't be too different from the Wu Xiao of the immortal realms. The myriad devil islands were like an independent world that had evolved for countless years. The people here mainly cultivated devil arts and had a more violent side to their personalities. However, this didn't mean that all devil cultivators were evil, and Wu Xiao of the immortal realms were all kind. Qin Wentian thought back to that little lass by Qing of the past. The kind her also cultivated devil arts, but was she an evil person? For a character like Huang Yudi, wasn't he tyrannical and evil? Seems like I have to first stabilize my footing on the myriad devil islands and preserve my life. Qin Wentian silently mused. For the adjudication battle this time around, not only did he have to contend against the other party, he also had to survive in the environment of the myriad devil islands. As Qin Wentian thought of this, he stepped out, moving towards the main city on the island. He wanted to first gather information about the situation on the myriad devil islands. The cultivation bases of immortals and devils were interlinked. Qin Wentian's eyes were like lightning. He could easily see through the cultivation bases of the people here. The majority of them were below immortal foundation, with a majority at the celestial phenomenon realm. But there were also quite a few immortal foundation characters. It was the same as the immortal realms. The higher the cultivation base, the fewer peak-level immortal foundation characters. Qin Wentian, who was strolling around the island, didn't attract any attention. He was just like an ordinary person. The battles on the island were much more frequent compared to the immortal realms. This should have something to do with the warlike nature of devil cultivators. Devil cultivation arts would cause one to be more tyrannical and unrestrained. After walking around the island for over 10 days, Qin Wentian gradually gained some understanding of this island. There were millions and millions of devil islands in the myriad devil islands, and each of them had a powerful devil sect. There might be a single sect or a few sects that worked together to govern the various islands. This island was governed by a power named the Blackstone Devil Sect. The Blackstone Devil King was a supreme existence, the king of this island. Devil kings were equivalent to immortal kings. On this island, there were immortal king-level existences. This was the island of the Blackstone Devil King. Hence, the island was governed by his name. This was the rule of the myriad devil islands. The people living on this island all had to obey the rules of the Blackstone Devil Sect. This point was even more tyrannical compared to the immortal realms. In fact, on this island, when Qin Wentian was making inquiries, there were very few people who dared to mention the name of the Blackstone Devil King. It was as though they were afraid of breaking a taboo. It was a 13-year-old young girl who told him about this. At this moment, in a courtyard on the island, Qin Wentian was quietly sitting there. Before him was a young girl who was very beautiful and exceptionally lively. Her name was Mo Yuqing. Her nickname was Little Qing, the same as Qinger. She was a very kind young girl, causing Qin Wentian to like her very much. Little Qing, you are spouting nonsense in front of Mr. Qin again. A laugh rang out as a dignified young lady walked over. She looked to be in her late 20s, but in truth she was much older than that. Her smile was very gentle. Madame Mo, Qin Wentian stood up and greeted. Mr. Qin, there's no need to be so polite. Yesterday that last Little Qing ran out alone. If it wasn't for Mr. Qin's help, she would most probably have been brought away. The young lady glared at Little Qing as she spoke. However, Little Qing had a mischievous expression on her face as she snuggled into Qin Wentian's embrace and smiled. Mother, if I didn't encounter some danger, how would I be acquainted with Mr. Qin? This is called fate. Madam Mo, who are those people exactly? They wouldn't even spare a child like little Qing? Qin Wentian frowned as he thought back to the situation yesterday. There are no rules on this island. Those who have a connection with the Blackstone Devil sect are all tyrannical and rude, doing whatever they want. The people you met yesterday are from the Feng clan. There's a heaven chosen in their clan who is cultivating in the Blackstone Devil sect. In this generation, the Feng clan is the king, capturing whoever they want. That Feng Wuji is even more of a beast, cultivating a perverse devil art. Madame Mo's brows were furrowed as she spoke until here, as though she was still worried. Mr. Qin, were you followed yesterday? I don't think so. Qin Wentian shook his head. Let's hope no one finds out. If not? Madame Mo shook her head. Little Qing, back then your father was killed because he fought with others. In the future you must not roam around recklessly. This island is too chaotic, you have to focus on your cultivation. Yes, mother. Little Qing nodded lightly. Her innocent eyes stared at Qin Wentian. Mr. Qin, you sent those people flying with a single palm strike yesterday. You should have a cultivation base at the Celestial Phenomenon Realm, right? Can you establish your devil foundation and become a devil? I think so. Qin Wentian smiled. In that case, Mr. Qin, you have to focus on your cultivation in the future. My grandfather has already established his devil foundation, and is an extremely outstanding character. Little Qing, continue telling me about the matters of the myriad devil islands. You said that if I want to join the Blackstone Devil sect, I have to kill a disciple of the Blackstone Devil sect? Qin Wentian asked. Little Qing nodded. The myriad devil islands are extremely cruel. The strong would ascend to the top. Whoever you kill, you would be able to replace that person. In fact, after speaking, Little Qing lowered her voice. If Mr. Qin killed the Blackstone Devil King, Mr. Qin would become the new Devil King. Little Qing. Madame Mo paled. She wasn't as sensible as a child and knew that sometimes, speaking nonsense could cause someone to die. Madame Mo, don't worry. I won't spread Little Qing's words. Qin Wentian spoke in a light voice. Only then did Madame Mo nod her head. But at this moment, Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared outside. After which, he saw numerous figures flying over. Madame Mo's countenance changed when she saw them. She then called out, Elder brother. Slut, did my younger brother feel lonely after his death? You actually brought a man back home. Also that little slut. Capture her and send her to young Master Feng as a gift. The young man in the lead coldly spoke, instantly causing Madame Mo's countenance to turn pale. Chapter 1230. Young Master Feng was naturally referring to Feng Wuji. Clearly, they were still traced back to them. When she thought of the rumors about Feng Wuji, Madame Mo's countenance turned ashen. Ever since her husband died, her daughter Little Qing was her life. Even if the people of the Mo clan didn't treat her and her daughter well, for the sake of Little Qing's growth, she could only endure it. On the Devil Islands, it was an extremely dangerous thing for women with low cultivation bases to roam about recklessly. There were many devil cultivators who didn't care about the rules and might even be cruel and merciless. An example was Feng Wuji. Elder brother, Little Qing is your niece. Madame Mo blocked the way. Slut. Capture her and send her over as well. The young man who walked over didn't care so much. If he didn't give young Master Feng an explanation, his entire clan would be finished. A small clan like the Mo clan was simply too weak. Wait a minute. Qin Wentian, who was sitting there, suddenly spoke. Little Qing was curled up in his embrace. This beautiful little girl seemed to be extremely terrified. Evidently, this uncle of hers didn't treat her well at all. If not, she wouldn't be so afraid of him. Are you the one who dealt with young Master Feng? The young man stared at Qin Wentian with a venomous look on his face. This bastard wanted to cause the death of his clan. Someone is trying to snatch your niece and I wanted to help. But now, you actually want to send your niece over to apologize? Qin Wentian stared at the young man before him as he coldly asked. His hand gently stroked Little Qing's head as he spoke in a low voice. Little Qing, Mr. is here. There's no need to be afraid. Mr., these people are very powerful. Mr., you should leave first. This has nothing to do with Mr. Little Qing innocently stared at Qin Wentian. She was merely a 13-year-old little girl. Don't worry, Mr. isn't afraid of them. Qin Wentian smiled and consoled. What shameless boasting. The young man waved his hand. After that, a group of people surrounded Qin Wentian. Little Qing seemed to be even more afraid as she leaned closer to Qin Wentian. Hurry up. Not far away, a cold figure stood there, staring at Qin Wentian with coldness in his eyes. He was none other than Feng Wuji's follower. Before this, when Feng Wuji saw the little girl, he immediately sent him to capture her. However, he met Qin Wentian and was obstructed by Feng Wuji. Feng Wuji only gave him a single sentence: "If you can't bring her back, bring your own head back with you." All right. The young man radiated the tyrannical aura of a peak-level celestial phenomenon ascendant as devil might gushed forth, causing the wind and clouds to change. He stared at Qin Wentian. "Little slut, it's your fortune that young Master Feng has taken a liking to you. You actually still dare to flee? You don't know the immensity of death." After saying that, he raised his hand and blasted at Qin Wentian's head. Little Blue. Madame Mo, who was at the side, had a pale countenance. When the terrifying devil fist light blasted towards Qin Wentian, a beam of light suddenly flashed, and after that, the fist light vanished completely. This scene caused Madame Mo's expression to freeze. The people in the surroundings were stunned as well. Qin Wentian quietly sat there, speaking to little Qing, who was in his embrace. "With Mr. here, no one can bring you away." Little Qing blinked her clear eyes, staring at Qin Wentian. "Mister, are you a devil?" "Yup, Mr. has already become a devil." Qin Wentian laughed, causing the people in the surroundings to stiffen. That young man's countenance turned slightly pale. At this moment, a powerful devil might descended as an old man appeared in the air. Qin Wentian had long known that there was an immortal foundation expert in the Mo clan. "Sir, who are you exactly? This is an internal matter of my clan, please don't interfere." The old man stared at Qin Wentian. "Grandpa, Mr. is a good person," little Qing called out. However, the old man merely coldly glanced at her. The little girl didn't seem to realize that her grandpa had already decided to abandon her. The little girl stared at her grandpa with a pleading look on her face. Qin Wentian sighed silently in his heart. "Tell Feng Wuji to come and ask me for the person." Qin Wentian no longer looked at the old man. He calmly spoke. The old man snorted coldly. "What arrogant words. I truly want to see what qualifications do you have to say such words." His devil foundation erupted forth, instantly causing the wind and clouds to change. Devil might gushed forth, engulfing this entire space. "I'll let you." Qin Wentian spoke. He inclined his head and stared at the old man as he spat out a single word: "Scram." As the sound of his voice faded, the laws of the great Tao manifested. Ancient characters shimmered in and out of existence as they blasted out with lightning speed. With a thunderous boom, the old man was directly flung through the air, slamming heavily into a wall. The old man collapsed onto the ground, coughing out blood as his countenance turned as pale as paper. He inclined his head in shock, staring at Qin Wentian as great waves rose in his heart. The people in the surroundings all had ashen expressions as they stared at Qin Wentian in shock. That arrogant young man earlier was now trembling uncontrollably. Qin Wentian glanced at him. At this moment he only felt as though a sharp sword was shooting towards him. He was so frightened that his legs trembled. With a roar, his father, who had established his devil foundation, was injured. This person's cultivation base was truly terrifying. "Tell Feng Wuji to come and ask for the person." Qin Wentian stared at that follower. His earlier words were ignored, but at this moment, that follower could truly feel the imposingness of Qin Wentian's words. He instantly turned and departed. The others all fled in an extremely short period of time. Only little Qing and her mother, Madame Mo, were left behind. Madame Mo's eyes stared unblinkingly at Qin Wentian. She didn't expect Qin Wentian to be so strong. In addition, he didn't even release his devil might. With just a roar, he could injure a devil foundation expert. "Sir, you are so awesome." Little Qing blinked, staring at Qin Wentian. "Little Qing, you are still young. You must know that there are many people more powerful than Sir in this world. Hence, you have to work hard in your cultivation and protect your mother in the future." Qin Wentian gently spoke. I must be as powerful as Sir." Little Qing nodded. "Sir, But the strength of the Feng clan is truly very powerful. Madame Emo still spoke with worry. Although Qin Wentian was very strong, Feng Wuji himself was incomparably powerful as well. In addition, he had an even more talented elder sister, a heaven chosen from the Blackstone Devil sect. On this devil island she was the king. What about the person with the highest cultivation base in the Feng clan? Other than the Blackstone Devil sect, are there any other devil kings on this island? Qin Wentian asked. Only now did Madame Emo understand that Sir Qin wasn't someone from this island. He was an outsider. Sir, devil kings are all lofty characters. I have no way to come into contact with them. Other than the Blackstone Devil sect, I have no idea if there are any other devil kings on this island. Right now, the most powerful person in the Feng clan should be Feng Wuji's elder sister, Feng Qingyu, who cultivates in the Blackstone Devil sect. It's said that her cultivation base has already reached the upper 3 levels of Devil Foundation, and is extremely terrifying. Madame Emo replied. Such a character in her eyes was already an unreachable expert. Does Feng Qingyu know about the evil actions of her younger brother? Qin Wentian asked. Naturally. I heard that she obtained the cultivation arts from outside and imparted them to Feng Wuji. Madame Emo replied. I understand. Qin Wentian nodded. Don't worry. In the future, the people of the Emo clan would definitely not dare to make things difficult for you guys. At this moment, the Feng clan was currently holding a banquet. Today, the pride of the Feng clan, Feng Qingyu, returned to the clan, and she even brought along 2 of her fellow sect members from the Blackstone Devil sect. The Feng clan prepared the most luxurious banquet to welcome them. Everyone enjoyed the delicacies and wine. The atmosphere was extremely lively. Feng Wuji was a young man with a pale face. At this moment, he was currently toasting a beautiful woman with a frosty countenance. Elder sis, this toast is for you. Without elder sis, there would be no Feng clan. How are the preparations for the women I asked you to prepare for me? Feng Qingyu calmly asked. We are still lacking one. I've already sent people to get her. I've personally seen her. She should be able to satisfy elder sis. Feng Wuji spoke. In the outside world, there were rumors saying that Feng Wuji cultivated a perverse devil art and needed to borrow women to cultivate it. But no one knew that this was merely a rumor spread by the Feng clan to protect Feng Qingyu's reputation, even though Feng Qingyu herself didn't really care about it. Just as he was speaking, a person ran over in a panic. Feng Wuji frowned. Where is she? With a putong sound, that person turned pale from fright. He knelt down. Young Master Feng, the young man who saved that lass back then, is actually a powerful devil cultivator. With a single roar, he injured the old man from the Mo clan. In that case, you didn't bring the person over? Feng Wuji tapped his wine cup as he spoke. Young Master Feng, the old man from the Mo clan is a Devil Foundation expert. He was injured by a single roar. That person repeated. However, the wine in Feng Wuji's cup flew up and transformed into a terrifying black-colored devil sword that directly slashed towards that follower. In an instant, the sword penetrated through the head of that follower, causing traces of blood to appear. After that, it flew back into the wine cup and Feng Wuji drained it in a single gulp. As for that follower, he had already collapsed onto the ground. Elder sis, there are actually people who dare to disturb your matters. Seems like I can only make a trip there personally. Feng Wuji spoke. Since I have nothing to do, I might as well go out for a walk. Let me accompany you to take a look. The countenance of the woman was as cold as ice. She stood up, and a moment later everyone stood up as well. Many people were already silently mourning for that person. To think that he actually offended Feng Qingyu. The experts of the Feng clan continued on their way, attracting the attention of many. Many people felt shock in their hearts. They didn't know who had offended the Feng clan. Moreover, it was Feng Qingyu. When the people of the Mo clan saw Feng Wuji and Feng Qingyu riding on a greater demon, all the experts of the Mo clan, including the Devil Foundation clan leader, all knelt on the ground. An intense fear caused their bodies to tremble lightly. As for that incomparably imposing woman who sat on the back of the greater demon, she was none other than Feng Qingyu of the Blackstone Devil sect. With just a single sentence from her, her Mo clan would be annihilated. Little Qing's mother also turned pale from fright when she saw the scene in the air. A sorrowful sigh could be heard in her heart. Feng Qingyu actually came. No matter how powerful Mr. Feng is, he wouldn't be able to escape death today. Mister, if you can escape, just run for your life. Madame Mo transmitted her voice to Qin Wentian. She knew that she would die for sure. The pitiful little Qing, she hasn't grown up yet. Feng Wuji's cold and imposing gaze swept down, landing on little Qing and Qin Wentian as a cruel smile appeared on his face. Chapter 1231. Stand up for someone else? Feng Wuji laughed as he stared at Qin Wentian. On this island, such people were extremely rare and their fates would always be extremely miserable. Qin Wentian sat there, inclined his head and stared at Feng Wuji as well as the noble maiden beside him. He then glanced at the people of the Mo clan kneeling on the ground as well as the fervent gazes of the others. He instantly understood that this maiden was none other than Feng Qingyu. Since this is the case, her ending will only be even more miserable. Feng Wuji had an evil smile on his face. His eyes swept over the people of the Mo clan as he coldly spoke. You guys are really not bad. You actually dared to accept him. Young Master Feng, please spare our lives. The old man from the Mo clan trembled as he prostrated himself on the ground, not daring to move at all. Spare our lives? Now let's see how you all choose to die. Feng Wuji calmly smiled. I'm very curious, is that maiden your daughter-in-law? I'm very curious, how will you deal with her? The old man from the Mo clan trembled even more violently as despair flashed in his eyes. He couldn't defeat Qin Wentian and he couldn't afford to antagonize Feng Wuji. No matter what, only death awaited him. Feng Qingyu quietly watched from the side. She and her two fellow sect members all had expressions of interest on their faces as they stared at the people below like they were examining ants. Before the disciples of the Darkness Devil sect, these ordinary characters were nothing but ants. Boom! The old man from the Mo clan stood up. He stared at Qin Wentian. Sir, I hope that you won't interfere in the matters of the Mo clan. As he spoke, his killing intent gushed forth as he walked towards Madame Mo. Qin Wentian sat there and stared at the old man from the Mo clan. He shook his head and sighed. As long as you have the slightest bit of kindness or backbone, there would be a path to survival. Yet you chose this path of death. Kill. The young man from the Mo clan waved his hands, wanting to kill Feng Wuji no matter the price. Feng Wuji was a devil. They couldn't afford to antagonize him. Right now they could only hope for a chance of survival. Qin Wentian carried little Qing and stood up. His gaze turned exceptionally cold as he took a step towards the old man from the Mo clan. Boom! This step was like heavenly might. The old man from the Mo clan only felt his devil foundation facing a supreme pressure, causing it to tremble violently. His footsteps halted as a look of terror appeared on his face, staring at the silhouette of Qin Wentian. Boom! Qin Wentian took another step forward. As his foot landed, a cracking sound rang out. The old man coughed out a mouthful of blood as cracks appeared on his devil foundation. His body trembled violently as he stared motionlessly at Qin Wentian. There was only shock in his heart. How could Qin Wentian be so powerful? Just by relying on his devil foundation, Qin Wentian was able to suppress him in terms of cultivation base? As the third step landed, the old man screamed in agony as he coughed out fresh blood. His devil foundation shattered and the people of the Mo clan around him all turned pale from fear. How would they dare to step forward? He can't afford to offend you, but can you afford to offend me? Qin Wentian's gaze swept across the crowd. The people of the Mo clan trembled in fear. Qin Wentian raised his head and looked at Feng Wuji, only to see Feng Wuji frowning. He couldn't see through Feng Wuji's cultivation level, but he seemed to be quite strong. Capture him. Feng Wuji waved his hands. His personality was arrogant, but he wasn't lacking in caution. Right now, he could feel a trace of threat from Qin Wentian. In that case, it would be best if he didn't act personally. Boom! Qin Wentian took a step forward. Feng Wuji's expression sank as he groaned in misery. The devil foundation in his body actually felt a formless pressure. This pressure originated from a higher-grade devil foundation. Several experts appeared before him, moving towards Qin Wentian only to see Qin Wentian carrying little Qing in his arms as he slowly walked through the air. He opened his mouth and spat out a single word, destroy. As the sound of his voice faded, ancient characters manifested in the air, exuding a fearsome destructive might. They transformed into ancient halberds that directly penetrated through space. A series of sounds rang out. Those experts moving towards Qin Wentian directly died, killed in a single strike. Upon seeing this scene, Feng Wuji's countenance changed. He wanted to retreat, but he only saw Qin Wentian grabbing out in the air. A terrifying palm imprint descended from the sky, directly shattering Feng Wuji's defenses and capturing him. "Elder sis, save me!" Feng Wuji screamed. How could Qin Wentian be so powerful? His cultivation base was at the 5th level of Immortal Foundation, yet he couldn't even withstand a single strike. Feng Qingyu acted the moment Qin Wentian acted. Her countenance was ice-cold as blood-colored devil might revolved around her. She was like a baleful god, radiating a devilish light that seemed to be from purgatory. "Release him." Feng Qingyu stared at Qin Wentian, her countenance extremely cold. "Disciple of the Blackstone Devil sect?" Qin Wentian stared at Feng Qingyu and the others as he asked, "Since you know, why don't you release him?" Feng Qingyu's voice was incomparably imposing. Qin Wentian's gaze landed on Feng Wuji, who was in the middle of the palm imprint. Feng Wuji coldly spoke, "If you dare to touch me, both you and that young lady will suffer a fate worse than death. I heard that the rules of the Blackstone Devil sect state that if I kill you, I will be able to replace you?" Qin Wentian stared at Feng Qingyu as he spoke again. As the sound of his voice faded, the surroundings instantly turned deathly silent. The hearts of those from the Mo clan below pounded. How arrogant was this calm voice? If he killed Feng Qingyu, he would be able to replace her. So why should I keep you alive? Qin Wentian stared at Feng Wuji. In an instant, an expression of despair appeared on Feng Wuji's face. The gigantic palm imprint abruptly slammed down, directly shattering Feng Wuji into dust. Someone as unexcelled in the world was actually killed in such a baffling manner. Most probably, even in his wildest dreams, Feng Wuji would never have imagined that he would die so easily. The people below also didn't expect that the devil-like Feng Wuji would be killed in such a domineering manner in front of Feng Qingyu. Feng Qingyu didn't reveal too much grief. Other than a trace of anger, there was also wariness. After all, this Qin Wentian wanted to kill her and replace her. "If the two of you want to interfere, I don't mind taking care of both of you. It's just that replacing the positions of the three of you isn't a good idea." Qin Wentian stared at the two fellow sect members beside Feng Qingyu. The two of them revealed an expression of interest. What an arrogant fellow. "If you can really kill Qingyu, we will be fellow sect members. But if you can't, you will have to leave your life behind." One of them laughed. The two of them actually stepped aside, having no intentions of helping Feng Qingyu. Most probably, this was a unique characteristic of the Blackstone Devil sect. This sort of thing was a common occurrence. Demonic cultivators only recognize strength. Qi. Feng Qingyu suddenly moved. However, she didn't rush towards Qin Wentian. Instead, she pointed a finger at Madame Mo below. A terrifying blood-colored light instantly descended, wanting to devour Madame Mo. The devil path was unscrupulous when it came to killing. They didn't care about the rules. As long as they killed their opponents, it would be considered victory. Qin Wentian's expression changed. He instantly appeared before Madame Mo as a terrifying light enveloped Madame Mo. Feng Qingyu had an extremely cold expression on her face when she saw this, immortal realm wuxiu. At this moment, the energy released by Qin Wentian didn't contain any devil might. That was immortal energy. This man was from the immortal realms. Immortal realm wuxiu? Can't he cultivate the devil path? Qin Wentian placed little Qing beside Madame Mo. He inclined his head and stared at Feng Qingyu, who was enveloped by the blood-colored light. "I thought you would bring two people with you to fight against me." Feng Qingyu coldly spoke. "I don't need to move to kill you." Law energy gushed forth from Qin Wentian. He pointed his finger in the air and instantly, a terrifying sword might manifested. Countless ancient sword characters transformed into sharp swords that floated in the air, enveloping this entire space. Boom! A gigantic blood-colored python appeared, shining with a dark red light. Feng Qingyu pressed her finger forward as the blood-colored python frenziedly lunged towards Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian waved his hand as a screen of swords appeared in the air, shredding the terrifying blood-colored python into dust. The sword might grew stronger and stronger, as though it wanted to destroy everything. Go! Qin Wentian pointed his finger in the air as a gigantic sword character appeared in the air, shooting forward. A river of swords appeared in the air, shredding everything. Feng Qingyu's countenance was as pale as paper. She bit her lips and transformed into a beam of blood-colored light, wanting to flee. Kill! Qin Wentian's finger pressed down in the air again. The sword river slashed through the air, creating a river of blood in the air. That blood-colored light stopped and transformed back into Feng Qingyu's body. A bloody scar could be seen in the center of her brows. She glanced at Qin Wentian with reluctance, and after that, her body transformed into a beam of blood-colored light and vanished from sight. She was killed instantly. The other two disciples of the Blackstone Devil sect had heavy expressions on their faces. The cultivation base of this person should be at the 7th level of Devil Foundation, but his combat prowess was extremely terrifying. He actually didn't even give Feng Qingyu a chance to flee. The people of the Feng clan were all silent. Feng Qingyu and Feng Wuji were killed today. Was the Feng clan still the Feng clan? The people of the Mo clan felt their hearts pounding violently. This was especially so for the old man from the Mo clan whose cultivation base was crippled. He thought of Qin Wentian's words earlier. They can't afford to antagonize him, but can they afford to antagonize him? Initially, nothing would happen to them. But because they made the wrong choice, they were crippled. Right now, one could very well imagine the pain in his heart. Now, am I considered a disciple of the Blackstone Devil sect? Qin Wentian stared at the other two as he asked. Naturally. As long as you are willing, you can follow us back to the sect. One of them nodded. Qin Wentian slowly rose up into the air. At this moment, the gazes of everyone when they looked at him changed. After this battle, he replaced Feng Qingyu and became a disciple of the Blackstone Devil sect. What should we do about this place? Qin Wentian asked. Don't worry. Another person glanced at the people of the Feng clan. Go back and tell your clan leader that no one is allowed to touch the family of this little girl, or the entire Feng clan will be annihilated. Yes. That person's body trembled violently. He lowered his head as his countenance turned ashen. The Feng clan was no longer the Feng clan. Sir, are you leaving already? Little Qing tugged on Qin Wentian's sleeves as she asked. Little Qing. Sir is here for cultivation. He naturally has to leave. Little Qing has to work hard in her cultivation in the future. Qin Wentian rubbed the little girl's head. Little Qing will definitely work hard in her cultivation and become as strong as Sir in the future. At that time, I can go to the Devil sect to look for Sir. Little Qing gently smiled. Little lass. A smile appeared on Qin Wentian's face. He turned his head and spoke to Madame Mo. Madam, take good care of little Qing. I Qin will bid my farewell. In the future, if there's a chance, I will come back to visit little Qing. Many thanks, sir. Madame Mo nodded. She knew that with this sentence from Qin Wentian, no one would dare to touch them. If something happens to them, the Mo clan and Feng clan will die together. Qin Wentian soared up into the air, coldly leaving behind a sentence as he left with the other two from the Blackstone Devil sect. The reason he came to the Myriad Devil Islands was for the adjudication battle. He naturally had to do what he should do. Since the Blackstone Devil sect was the strongest power on this island, it was undoubtedly a power he needed to borrow. Chapter 1232. The Blackstone Devil sect governed the entire island. How vast was their power? Within the sect, the Blackstone Devil King was the supreme ruler, and there were 4 devil monarchs under him. Below the 4 devil monarchs, there were 7 devil generals. There were a total of 28 devil generals under the 4 devil monarchs. They were the controllers of the Blackstone Devil sect on the surface, and each of them had a powerful devil army under them. This army was collectively known as the Blackstone Army. Hence, within the Blackstone Devil sect, there weren't too many core disciples. The vast majority of them were in charge of the Blackstone Army. As the strongest force that could sweep through the devil path, they would suppress all those who disobeyed their orders. On the way there, Qin Wentian already understood the general situation of the Blackstone Devil sect. The 4 devil monarchs were all at the Devil King level. In addition to the strongest Devil King, the Blackstone Devil King, there were actually a total of 5 Devil King level characters in the sect. As for the 28 Devil Generals under the 4 Devil Monarchs, their cultivation bases were all at the peak of Devil Foundation. Also, according to the 2 beside him, they were all characters who had already peeked through the gate to the Devil King realm. If not, they wouldn't be able to sit in the position of Devil General and control so many disciples as well as an army. In the Blackstone Devil sect, all cultivation resources had to be fought for with strength. Experts were born from iron and blood. In the central region of the Devil Island, there was a Devil King Palace that exuded terrifying devil might. This was the Devil Palace of the Blackstone Devil King. In the 4 directions of the Devil Palace, there were 4 different Devil Palaces of different styles. These were none other than the 4 Devil Monarchs. Devil Lord Huaji was the only female Devil Lord among the 4. She was in charge of the Eastern Devil Palace. There were 7 Devil Generals under her, and one of them was named Lu Shuejia. She was one of the 7 most authoritative characters in the Eastern Devil Palace. She was a Devil General at the peak of Devil Foundation, and had already peeked through to the Devil King realm. Feng Qingyu, whom Qin Wentian killed, was one of Lu Shuejia's subordinates. Hence, he was brought to the palace Lu Shuejia was in. Standing at the bottom of the Devil's staircase, Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the Devil Palace above the mountain gate. He mused in his heart that people of the Devil Path truly understood prestige more compared to people of the immortal realms. Just the architectural style of this building was filled with a sense of hierarchy. The palace above the staircase was a symbol of authority. Although Qin Wentian had long seen many immortal kings, immortal foundation characters wouldn't be able to attract his interest. But at this moment he could already sense how strict the hierarchy was. Only the strong could be high and mighty. Even if they were only 1 level stronger, it was still the same. If he wanted to ascend to the top, the only way was to kill the other party and replace him. Of course, Qin Wentian wouldn't be so stupid as to directly step onto the Devil Gate staircase and enter the palace to kill Lu Shuejia. Not to mention the fact that Lu Shuejia's strength was unknown. Even if he knew her strength, Lu Shuejia had the highest authority in this Devil Palace. She could directly order everyone to kill Qin Wentian. Anyone who dared to challenge her authority, she could directly order people to kill. Because she was already standing in that position. The true cruelty of the Devil Path was that even if you stood in that position now, it didn't mean that you would be able to stay there forever. You have to constantly be wary of the people around you and your subordinates. Because once they found an opportunity to kill someone stronger than you, they would replace you. This would undoubtedly increase the number of bloodshed. But at the same time, there was no need to doubt the strength of those who could sit in that position. It was said that Lu Shuejia has already stayed in this palace for over 30 years. 30 years ago, she walked up and sat in that position. 30 years later, she only grew stronger. Right now, there was no longer anyone who dared to challenge her authority. Those who dared to challenge her before were all buried in the Devil Palace. Qianshan requests an audience with Lord Devil General. The person beside Qin Wentian spoke. There were soldiers standing guard at the top of the stairway. They were all Lu Shuejia's subordinates. Qin Wentian discovered that their cultivation bases were all at the 6th level or above. From this, one could see that the Devil sect had no lack of experts. But in reality, those who could truly become disciples of the Devil sect were very few in number. The vast majority of them were from the army of the Devil sect. There was no reply, but the 2 people beside Qin Wentian continued standing there. After a long time, the cold voice of a female rang out. "Who is this person?" "He killed Feng Qingyu and replaced her," Qianshan replied. Another period of silence. An instant later, the sound of footsteps rang out from the Devil Hall at the top of the stairway. Not long after, Qin Wentian saw a woman clad in simple robes standing at the top of the stairway. She was none other than Lu Shuejia. Her simple robes were unable to conceal her magnificence. Her eyes were extremely cold, as though they could see through the hearts of others. "I let Feng Qingyu return because I wanted her cultivation base to rise to the next level. Who would have thought that she was so useless and was killed by someone? But it's just as well. Since there's someone who can replace her, his strength should definitely be above Feng Qingyu." Lu Shuejia didn't have much of a reaction to Feng Qingyu's death. Her calm eyes stared at Qin Wentian. "How's your combat prowess?" It shouldn't be a problem for me to kill 8th level Devil Foundation experts. Qin Wentian replied. Okay, you can be my personal Devil Knight for now. Lu Xuejia didn't ask for Qin Wentian's opinion. In this Devil Palace as a Devil General, her words were supreme and no one could refute her. This was only natural. This was the rule of the Devil sect. Even if she wanted Qin Wentian to be a slave, Qin Wentian would still have to do as she said. The Devil sect was extremely cruel. If one wanted to live longer, they might even have to hide their talent or they might be treated as enemies of the higher-ups and be killed. Reporting to General, this person came from the immortal realms and isn't a devil cultivator. Qian Shan spoke. This caused the beautiful eyes of Lu Xuejia, who was preparing to leave, to flash as she stared at Qin Wentian in bewilderment. However, her expression returned to normal an instant later as she calmly spoke. Several days ago, an immortal Wu Xiu from the immortal realms came to the Northern Devil Palace. It said that his strength is extremely strong, able to fight against peak-stage Devil Foundation experts. To think that I actually have an immortal Wu Xiu as my subordinate now. After speaking, she turned and spoke, come up. From today onwards, you should temporarily familiarize yourself with the rules. Qin Wentian frowned. An immortal Wu Xiu from the Northern Devil Palace was here as well? Was this a coincidence? Or could it be that Wu Xiu was one of the people who entered the myriad Devil Islands together with him? Could it be someone from his side or someone from the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor's side? They passed through the Devil Gate at the same time. Although they might arrive at different locations, they shouldn't be too far away. There was a high possibility that there were others on this island. Qin Wentian, just like that, mysteriously became Lu Xuejia's Devil Knight, equivalent to her personal attendant. Since he was already here, he might as well take things as they come. Although Qin Wentian was arrogant, he wasn't a virtuous person. Since he came to the myriad Devil Islands, he had to adapt to everything here. If he still thought that he was still in the Immortal Champion Gate, he would most probably die here sooner or later. Hence, even if he had to stand outside the Devil Hall as a guard, Qin Wentian would still accept it. It was just that he would occasionally glance at the Devil Hall, revealing the ambition in his heart. Since he joined the Blackstone Devil sect, he naturally had to have a high position, or what was the point of staying here? Becoming a Devil General was the next thing he needed to do. Today, Qin Wentian stood guard outside the Devil Hall. He saw 2 Devil Path experts entering, and after that, intense sounds of battle rang out. The people at the side were already used to it and clearly knew what was happening inside. That's right. As my protectors, you guys have to assist me in the Devil ranking battle. If you can obtain a good ranking, I will definitely reward you heavily. Lu Xuejia's voice rang out. Qin Wentian's expression flickered. He had heard of the Devil ranking battle before. Within the Devil sect, the 28 Devil Generals under the 4 Great Devil Monarchs represented the 28 major forces, and they had to be ranked. It was said that the higher the ranking a Devil General was, the greater their authority would be. In addition, they would also be able to obtain special rewards from the Devil King. Lu Xuejia was ranked number 9 among the 28 Devil Generals. An instant later, Lu Xuejia brought the 2 of them out. At this moment, Lu Xuejia was clad in a tight-fitting black robe that accentuated her alluring figure. In addition to the fact that she had put on some makeup, her entire person exuded an aura of heroism, dainty and capable. Qin Wentian cast a few more glances at her. Boom! Abruptly, an ice-cold aura bore down on Qin Wentian. The eyes of the man beside Lu Xuejia gleamed with a terrifying devil light as he coldly stared at Qin Wentian. Dig out your own eyes. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed, staring at the man who spoke. This man's cultivation base was equivalent to the 9th level of Immortal Foundation, and his aura was extremely powerful. Why? Qin Wentian counter-asked. How can a Devil General be profaned by your gaze? You actually dare to ask why? Dig out your own eyes and cut off your tongue. That devil expert spoke again, exuding a tyrannical aura. Qin Wentian had indeed cast a few more glances at Lu Xuejia's body. This person wanted him to dig out his own eyes. The actions of devil cultivators were truly unbridled, doing whatever they wanted to do. Lu Xuejia also halted her steps. She stared ahead and didn't say anything, as though what happened behind her had nothing to do with her. I only have admiration for Devil Generals. What profanity is there? As for you, who do you think you are? What qualifications do you have to make me dig out my own eyes? Qin Wentian's voice was ice cold. Boom! A terrifying devil might of darkness instantly erupted forth. Black light converged into a fearsome devil saber of darkness. His opponent didn't say anything more. A terrifying saber light of darkness slashed out, slashing towards Qin Wentian. If it struck, Qin Wentian would definitely die on the spot. To the experts of the devil sect, killing people seemed to be an insignificant matter. This kind of cruelty was something that would often happen. Qin Wentian's eyes were ice cold. His aura instantly gushed forth as fiend god light circulated around him. His fearsome divine physique manifested, shining resplendently as ancient characters appeared on the screen of light. When the saber slashed down, it actually sank into the screen of light and directly shattered apart. However, this didn't seem to affect his opponent's emotions at all. An even more powerful devil might erupted forth. This time around, he wielded the devil's saber in his hand, and when he slashed down, a hurricane manifested. The incomparably sharp devil's saber directly nibbled away the defense of the screen of light, wanting to kill Qin Wentian on the spot. Chapter 1233. The edge of the devil's saber contained a terrifying corrosive energy. The black devil light gleamed with a bloodthirsty red light, devouring everything in its path. As a protector of a devil general, there was no need to doubt the strength of this protector devil knight. Many terrifying ancient runic characters appeared on Qin Wentian's fiend god body. When the devil's saber slashed into him, the runic characters radiated a dazzling immortal light. The devil's saber seemed to be standing on top of a divine body, indestructible. Even his devil's saber couldn't break through it. The eyes of that devil cultivator narrowed. What a powerful physique. A 7th-stage cultivation base. Such a physique was even more terrifying compared to many body cultivators. Boom! An even stronger devil might erupted forth. Many terrifying devil sabers manifested on the devil foundation and slashed down together, instantly engulfing this entire space, enveloping Qin Wentian within the darkness of destruction. Qin Wentian radiated a divine glow. He lifted his palm and blasted out with God's hand. There were many ancient characters inscribed on the palm imprint, blasting out of the area enveloped by the devil's sabers and directly aiming for his opponent. His opponent lifted his hands as the thousands of devil sabers stacked together, transforming into a single beam. At this moment, a beam of black devil light slashed down from the sky, exploding forth with boundless killing intent, aiming for Qin Wentian's head. Qin Wentian's god's hand collided with the terrifying devil saber. The destructive energy from the collision ravaged the surroundings. Lu Xuejia's body was enveloped by a powerful black-colored sword light, protecting her from being corroded. At this moment she had already turned around. She simply stood there, staring at the battle before her with interest. Qin Wentian, the 7th-level immortal foundation Wuxiu from the immortal realms, had a combat prowess that surpassed everyone's expectations. Their attacks collided in the air, causing a tearing sound to ring out. Qin Wentian lifted his left hand, and under the gaze of that devil cultivator, he pointed a finger at the air. In an instant a boundless sword might slashed out. That devil cultivator retracted his other hand and blasted out with a palm strike as he roared. However, the sword might unleashed by Qin Wentian's finger actually transformed into terrifying heavenly rocks that slashed apart everything. Puchi! A light sound rang out. A sword imprint appeared in the center of the devil cultivator's brows. His eyes froze as a myriad of sword intents gushed forth, instantly piercing through his entire body. The devil's saber dissipated as a look of terror appeared on his face. In this battle he was actually defeated and killed on the spot. Lu Xuejia's expression didn't fluctuate too much. She stared at the fallen protector as she calmly spoke, "Clean this up." As the sound of her voice faded, a devil knight stepped forward and brought the corpse away. Another protector stared at Qin Wentian with wariness in his eyes. "From now onwards you will replace his position and become my protector." Lu Xuejia's gaze landed on Qin Wentian. "Many thanks, General." Qin Wentian nodded as he glanced at Lu Xuejia. "However, this doesn't mean that I like the look in your eyes. You better be more honest or I can't guarantee that I won't personally gouge your eyes out." Lu Xuejia's calm voice was filled with coldness. After that, she continued, "Follow me to the Devil King Palace." After speaking, she took a step forward. The Devil Knights outside the Devil King Palace moved in unison, following after her. Qin Wentian casually laughed. He also stepped out and followed behind Lu Xuejia, moving towards the direction of the Devil King Palace where the Blackstone Devil King was located. Outside the majestic and imposing central Devil King Palace, there was a gigantic public square. Right now, many devil cultivators were gathered there, all of them exuding terrifying auras as they stood in different camps. When Lu Xuejia led Qin Wentian and the other Devil Knights, many turned their gazes onto Lu Xuejia. As a beautiful female devil general, Lu Xuejia naturally attracted a lot of attention. It was just that some people had wariness in their eyes when they looked at her, but there were also others who had no fear in their eyes. Lu Xuejia, you are getting more and more beautiful. Only to see a gaze landing on Lu Xuejia. That gaze was incomparably demonic, not concealing the greed in it at all. He was admiring every part of Lu Xuejia's body, as though he wanted to devour Lu Xuejia in a single gulp. Lu Xuejia had a look of disgust on her face as she coldly glanced at that person. However, this person was none other than the 8th-ranked Devil General Situ. He was extremely lecherous and extremely powerful. Lu Xuejia didn't doubt that if this person had a chance, Situ would definitely sully her. Hence she had to grow stronger, becoming stronger than Situ. The devil path didn't care about rules. Strength was the law. Your gaze is getting more and more tasteful. Situ licked his lips as his eyes grew even more demonic. A powerful woman like Lu Xuejia, he has been drooling over her for a very long time. She would definitely be more tasteful compared to those women who only knew how to please men. There will be a day when I kill you. Lu Xuejia stared at Situ as she spoke. Dying in the embrace of a beauty is also a worthy death. Lu Xuejia, when you let me have a night of fun with you, I will let you kill me. How about it? Situ laughed, not bothering to mask his voice at all. The devil generals here all had calm expressions on their faces. They didn't care about the conversation between the two of them, as though they were already used to it. There were also other devil generals conversing, exuding a faint battle intent. But at this moment, everyone suddenly fell silent. From afar, another group of experts walked over. The person in the lead was incomparably imposing. It was none other than the 3rd-ranked Devil General, Zhong Yan. His strength was extremely shocking. The first 3 Devil Generals were undoubtedly the 3 with the highest authority under the Devil Lord. Their strength was also the most terrifying. The eyes of this imposing figure were extremely cold, sweeping his gaze through the crowd. In an instant the entire crowd fell silent. When Qin Wentian saw him, his eyes narrowed. It wasn't because of Zhong Yan but because of an expert behind him. That expert was none other than one of the experts who would participate in the adjudication battle. He was someone from the other side. Both sides chose 100 people to participate in the adjudication battle. With regards to the 100 people from the other side, Qin Wentian naturally remembered them clearly. This person was one of them. As expected, he wasn't the only one who came to this devil island. There were also people from the other side who came to this island and they had the same idea as him. They wanted to borrow the strength of the strongest power on this island, the Blackstone Devil Sect. In this case, they would undoubtedly have the initiative and everything they do would be much easier. That expert also saw Qin Wentian. Their gazes clashed in the air, both flashing with intense killing intent. This person was an expert chosen by the 9 Emperors' immortal state. He was at the peak of Immortal Foundation and could control a trace of Immortal King might. He has already been at the peak of Immortal Foundation for over 1,000 years, but he still had no way to break through. But in the Immortal Foundation realm, his strength was clearly extremely terrifying. This time around, none of the people chosen by the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor were powerful. The name of this person was Huang Hanliang. He was also a member of the royal clan, just that he wasn't a core member. What a coincidence! Huang Hanliang's eyes gleamed with a terrifying light. It was actually Qin Wentian. Although he didn't enter the Sacred Academy, he naturally recognized Qin Wentian. This person was ranked first on his must-kill list. Since he encountered him, let him be the one to reap Qin Wentian's life. Just nice, the ranking battle this time around was a good opportunity for him. Are you acquainted with him? Zhong Yan could sense Huang Hanling's gaze as he asked. He naturally knew that Huang Hanling came from the immortal realms. He had tested Huang Hanling's strength before and knew that Huang Hanling was very strong. In fact, Huang Hanling would definitely be able to become a devil general and replace one of them. This time around, he agreed to Huang Hanling's request. Huang Hanling would assist him in this battle, and after that, Zhong Yan would become one of the 28 devil generals, leading a devil hall. In the future, if I meet this person on the battlefield, I will have to trouble you to kill him for me. Huang Hanling spoke in a low voice. Right? Zhong Yan nodded, glancing at Qin Wentian. That cold gaze of his seemed to have no regard for Qin Wentian at all. What's going on? Someone beside General Zhong Yan wants to kill you? Lu Xuejia's expression sank as she stared at Qin Wentian. Yes, I want to kill him as well, Qin Wentian replied. Lu Xuejia furrowed her brows. She already received the news that other than Qin Wentian, there was another immortal realm expert, Wu Xiu. She didn't expect that Qin Wentian would have a life and death grudge with him. If this was the case, it wouldn't matter. The problem was that Qin Wentian was a protector of Zhong Yan. If she stood against the third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan, it would be hard for her to hold on to her position as the ninth-ranked general, let alone advancing forward. Since this is the case, from now onwards, I will officially strip you of your protector position. There's no need for you to assist me in this battle. I will find someone else. Lu Xuejia's personality was extremely decisive. She directly gave up on Qin Wentian. There were no emotions in the Devil's sect. Since Qin Wentian had affected her, she could only give up on Qin Wentian. Lu Xuejia didn't conceal her voice at all. Clearly, she wanted to tell Zhong Yan that she didn't want the third devil general to target her. This Lu Xuejia was as decisive as ever. She was an extremely powerful character. Many devil generals stared at Qin Wentian with pity in their eyes. What a pitiful character. He was abandoned by Lu Xuejia just like that. In addition, no one would dare to accept him. Also, even if Zhong Yan gave the order to kill him, Lu Xuejia wouldn't protect him at all. A cold smile appeared on Huang Hanling's face when he heard Lu Xuejia's words. His gaze of ridicule landed on Qin Wentian, as though there was a hint of provocation in his eyes. So this was the person who stirred up a storm in the Sacred Academy? Sacred Academy? Huang Hanling coldly laughed in his heart. For this person who stirred up a storm in the Sacred Academy, he would still kill him without hesitation. Qin Wentian's gaze suddenly turned cold. If he didn't become a protector knight earlier, he wouldn't even know about the devil general competition here. But since Lu Xuejia wanted him to participate, she directly abandoned him just because Zhong Yan's protector had killing intent towards him. This undoubtedly caused Qin Wentian to feel extremely unhappy. If I'm abandoned by you, can I still participate in the devil general competition? Qin Wentian asked. You are neither a devil general nor a protector. Naturally you can't. Lu Xuejia replied. The battle hasn't even started, and you are already afraid because of the enemy's hostility? You have already lost this battle. Qin Wentian coldly spoke. Chapter 1234. When Lu Xuejia heard Qin Wentian's voice, her countenance instantly turned cold. She turned her head back, her cold eyes gleaming with a terrifying might. I climbed all the way to where I am today from a lowly background, becoming the 9th-ranked general of the Blackstone Devil sect. How can I let you obstruct my path? Naturally, I won't waver my heart because of a single sentence from you. Lu Xuejia's eyes were cold. Qin Wentian also agreed with this point. Many of these devil generals of the Blackstone Devil sect relied on their own strength to slaughter their way up. Even for people with similar cultivation bases, Qin Wentian couldn't help but to admit that the devil cultivators of the myriad devil islands all had a ruthless and decisive temperament. This had something to do with the environment they grew up in. In such a cruel world, if one wasn't ruthless, they wouldn't be able to climb up step by step. Back then, the Tiandao Sacred Academy gathered a batch of the most outstanding geniuses in the immortal realms. But in truth, many of them were born extraordinary. Without a powerful character to guide them, how could they cross the vast distance to arrive at the entrance of the Sacred Academy? There was naturally no need to doubt their talent, or they wouldn't have been able to pass the selection test of the Sacred Academy. In this tiny devil island of the Blackstone Devil sect, the talent of the 18 generals clearly couldn't be compared to the geniuses of the Sacred Academy. But the aura they exuded wasn't weak at all. Qin Wentian stared at Lu Xuejia's eyes as he emotionlessly spoke. You naturally won't waver because of a single sentence from me. But you have already admitted that you don't even have the courage to contend against the third-ranked devil general. Do you believe that I can kill you right now? Lu Xuejia's killing intent involuntarily gushed forth when she saw that Qin Wentian wanted to waver her heart. A cold intent enveloped Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian saw the threat in her eyes and no longer bothered about her. He turned and left this place. Since he couldn't participate in the Devil War this time around, he would fight for the position of Devil General in the future. Wait. At this moment, a voice called out to Qin Wentian. Stopping in his tracks, Qin Wentian turned around and looked at a Devil General standing in the corner. This Devil General was probably one of the most inconspicuous Devil Generals in the crowd. The protectors and magic knights around her were all slightly weaker than the people behind Lu Xuejia. Although they were both women, her strength and status were clearly inferior to Lu Xuejia. Even her appearance was slightly inferior. However, to be able to become a Devil General, there was no need to doubt her temperament. Her pair of bright pitch-black eyes sparkled. Juyu, the number 28 Devil General, ranked last. Do you want to participate in this Devil War? Juyu stared at Qin Wentian as she asked. Qin Wentian nodded. He wanted to become a Devil General. To him, this was an opportunity he naturally had to participate. Since you wish to participate, you naturally have already made your preparations. In that case, why don't I give you a chance? Are you willing to be my protector knight? Juyu sent out an invitation to Qin Wentian. All the Devil Generals stared at Juyu with interest. Lu Xuejia abandoned him. Was she going to recruit him as her subordinate? In addition, Zhongyan's protector wanted Qin Wentian's life. But soon after, they understood what Juyu meant by that. Hence, they merely smiled in response. Okay. Qin Wentian replied with a single word. After that, he returned to the side of Juyu. Are you not afraid of offending the third-ranked Devil General? Qin Wentian transmitted his voiceover. Lu Xuejia is a proud and aloof person. She relied on herself to kill her way into the Devil Hall and sit on that position. I naturally believe that there's no problem with her judgment. Since she could let you become her protector, I'm sure you must have some outstanding points. I myself am the last-ranked Devil General. There's no need for me to lose. Even if you are killed in battle, there's no loss to me. Juyu replied in a voice transmission. Her reply was extremely direct, causing Qin Wentian to laugh. The last-ranked Devil General, unless he was replaced by someone else, he would still be ranked last even if he lost. No matter what reason you have, since you have given me a chance, I naturally won't disappoint you. Qin Wentian turned his gaze to the experts, only to see Lu Xuejia coldly staring at him. You are a Devil Knight under me. Although the rules of the Devil Path aren't strict, you already deserve death for betraying me. You abandoned me like a shoe. Do you still want me to be loyal to you? Qin Wentian mocked. Although it hasn't been long since he came to the Myriad Devil Islands, he already had an initial understanding of the way the people here did things. Just you wait. Lu Xuejia's expression was cold. She then glanced at Juyu. She ordered a Devil Knight behind her to replace Qin Wentian. Before this, her protector was killed by Qin Wentian, and now, Qin Wentian was abandoned and became Juyu's subordinate. This was indeed a great loss, but in order to not directly stand against the third-ranked Devil General Zhongyan, it was still worth it. From afar, more experts flew over. When the eyes of everyone turned over, a look of respect could be seen on their faces. The person in the lead was a burly man filled with boundless strength. His gaze was incomparably imposing, and when he swept his gaze over, no one dared to match his gaze. The Blood Butcher, the second-ranked Devil General, his ranking was even higher than Zhongyan. He was covered in blood, and back then when he entered the Blackstone Devil sect and became a Devil General, he had once cleansed a Devil Palace in blood before entering the Devil Hall and taking over the position. That battle caused rivers of blood to flow. From then on, he had another nickname, Blood Butcher. The Blood Butcher stood there, exuding a fearsome aura, causing people to not dare to look at him directly. At this moment, a whistling wind could be heard from afar. A young man in golden robes could be seen sitting on a war chariot. The devil knights beneath him carried the war chariot forward and landed on a corner of the public square, causing a thunderous sound to echo out. His eyes swept over the crowd, but no one dared to match his gaze. This man was none other than the first-ranked devil general. Nobody knew his name, only the Blackstone Devil King would know. He was called the first-ranked devil general, and had always been the first-ranked devil general, ever since the other generals entered the Devil Gate. His position as the first-ranked devil general had never been replaced by anyone before. Hence there was no need for a name. He was the first-ranked devil general, and the first-ranked devil general was him. Some people said that although he looked young, he was actually an old monster who has cultivated for tens of thousands of years. Some said that his cultivation base was already nearing the Devil King realm, and could step into it at any moment, becoming the fifth Devil Lord under the Blackstone Devil King. Rumble. The war chariot of the first-ranked devil general crumbled the ground, sinking into the ground. Numerous runes of light flashed, incomparably resplendent. In an instant, a terrifying grand formation appeared in the vast public square. At the locations of the 20 devil generals, war drums could be seen. At this instant they weren't in the public square, they were in the battlefield instead. Same old rules. For the first battle, all the devil generals and the devil knights under them will participate. Whoever is killed first or is blasted out first will be ranked last. After this battle, the remaining 14 devil generals will be chosen. The first-ranked devil general spoke. He was the first-ranked devil general and his authority was the highest. As long as there was no one who could replace him, he would be the one with the highest authority here and could give out orders. Boom, boom, boom. As the sound of his voice faded, the sound of the war drums rang out. In an instant, devil might engulfed everything. At this moment, Qin Wentian felt that he wasn't standing on the public square of the devil sect, but a real battlefield instead. The war drums rang out and the battle began. For this battle, not only were the devil generals participating, the devil knights under them were all participating as well. Each of them had a war drum in front of them. Huang Hanliang stared in the direction of Qin Wentian. He didn't act immediately. Qin Wentian had to die no matter what. After all, this was the adjudication battle. If he killed one more, there would be one less. However, since this Qin Wentian could cause such a huge commotion in the Sacred Academy, he most probably wouldn't be so weak. It wouldn't be so easy to use the war drums to kill him. Let's hope that he can continue on this path. Lu Xuejia's cold eyes stared in the direction of Qin Wentian. Her hands radiated terrifying devil might. She closed her eyes and slammed her palms onto the war drum. In an instant, the war drum rumbled as numerous heaven-shaking devil swords slashed down from the sky, aiming for Qin Wentian. Jiyu's fair hands trembled as she slammed her palms onto the war drum. A gigantic devil shield appeared in the air. But as the numerous swords slashed down, cracks appeared on the shield. Jiyu frowned. This Lu Xuejia was truly ruthless, directly targeting Qin Wentian at the start of the battle. The battle has already started, be careful. Jiyu spoke to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian nodded lightly. The people of the devil sect were all about efficiency, directly starting the battle without any nonsense. Gotcha! The cracks on the devil shield widened. Lu Xuejia continuously blasted the war drum and as the crisp sounds rang out, the devil shield shattered. A terrifying devil sword directly slashed towards Qin Wentian's throat. As this sword appeared, Qin Wentian felt that he wouldn't be able to escape. His immortal sense infused into the war drum as a terrifying palm imprint blasted out ferociously. As the sword slashed down, the palm imprint shattered. The remnant might from the sword slashed onto Qin Wentian's drum, almost causing it to explode. Qin Wentian felt a piercing pain in his immortal sense. Such a battle was extremely tyrannical. Both sides borrowed the power of the war drum, and were in a completely defenseless state, using offense against offense. Seeing the 9th-ranked devil general Lu Xuejia acting, the other generals naturally wouldn't participate in this battle. They chose their own opponents instead. As for those devil generals who were ranked at the top, they were the most relaxed. They simply had the attitude of spectators. Nobody dared to take the initiative to challenge them. They only needed to watch quietly. I will temporarily block her. Jiyu's expression changed, becoming somewhat cold. Lu Xuejia wanted her to be the first to be eliminated. Since 14 devil generals are selected, 14 will be eliminated. In that case, there's no need to fight at all. Qin Wentian stared at the situation. The 3 ranked devil generals were all extremely relaxed. Nobody dared to fight. These were the weaker ones who were fighting for the last 14 spots, hoping to be ranked higher. As for Lu Xuejia acting, it was purely because of him. Boom boom boom. Lu Xuejia's magic knights also attacked, rushing towards Qin Wentian's camp. Qin Wentian's immortal sense was very familiar with the war drum. He abruptly blasted out with both his hands, causing the sounds of drums to echo out unceasingly. In an instant, in the airspace above their camp, numerous gigantic ancient characters appeared, transforming into a screen of light that enveloped this entire space. There's no need to waste any effort in this battle. Qin Wentian spoke to Juyu. Zhong Yan was the 3rd-ranked devil general. There was no doubt that he wouldn't be eliminated. Lu Xuejia was the 9th-ranked devil general. She wouldn't be eliminated as well. Qin Wentian wasn't in a hurry. Chapter 1235. Juyu inclined her head and stared at the screen of light above her as waves of shock rose in her heart. Her deep eyes glanced at Qin Wentian, who was at the side. She only saw that Qin Wentian's hands were like the hands of a fiend god, unceasingly hammering on the battle drum. Every time he hammered, the sound of thunder would resound out as the ancient characters on the drum soared into the sky. Lu Xuejia frowned, her countenance was cold. The magic knights behind her all acted at the same time. In an instant, the sound of the battle drum rumbled as boundless devil might converged together, transforming into a heaven-slaying devil sword. This devil sword was extremely thin and seemed to be able to slice through space. As the sword slashed down, the screen of ancient characters was slashed apart. However, the toughness of these characters was extremely terrifying. Even though they were slashed apart, they still frenziedly resisted, causing the devil might of the devil's sword to gradually dissipate. Juyu and the magic knights behind her acted at the same time, launching their counterattacks at Lu Xuejia. Since Lu Xuejia had already chosen them as her opponent, they could only fight. In a short instant, the entire battlefield was filled with the thunderous sounds of war drums. The first devil general quietly sat on his war chariot, like a golden-armored devil king. He didn't even act, and the magic knights behind him were also the strongest legion in the Blackstone Devil, sect other than the Blackstone Devil King. They were invincible. The 2nd-ranked devil general, the Blood Butcher, stared at the battlefield with interest, but he didn't fight as well. The 3rd-ranked devil general, Zhong Yan, turned to Huang Hanling beside him and asked, "Should we act and directly eliminate them?" "No rush. My target is his life. Let him enter the next round," Huang Hanling replied. "Since this is the case, things are easy to handle." Zhong Yan spoke. "Tell Lu Xuejia to stop." "Yes." The magic knight behind him acknowledged the order and started beating his war drum. A moment later, his demonic aura transformed into a terrifying black flame dragon that charged towards Lu Xuejia. Lu Xuejia's expression froze. She slammed her fists against the war drum and deflected the flame dragon with a single swing of her sword. "I want him to advance," Zhong Yan spoke, causing Lu Xuejia's expression to turn unsightly. The 3rd-ranked devil general Zhong Yan was truly tyrannical. He wanted Qin Wentian to break through and he wanted her to stop. However, in order to avoid Zhong Yan's attacks again, Lu Xuejia stopped. She stopped her attacks on Qin Wentian and Juyu and only coldly glanced at them. It was as though she was telling Qin Wentian and Juyu that they were lucky enough to escape this calamity. At this time, there was already a devil general who was defeated in battle. His war drum shattered and he almost spat out blood. This person was ranked 28th, the 28th devil general. "Seems like my ranking has risen." Juyu smiled. Qin Wentian glanced in the direction of Zhong Yan and Huang Hanling. He naturally knew that they didn't really want to help him. Instead, they wanted to toy with him and take his life. Let him advance? Well, let's wait and see. The devil generals were eliminated one after another. Because of the 3rd-ranked devil general Zhong Yan's domineering participation, there were actually no other devil generals who dared to attack Juyu. In the end, when the rankings of the remaining 14 were confirmed, Juyu wasn't among them. This time around, the 28th Devil General Juyu directly entered the top 14. Such an ending caused Juyu to feel that it was a little funny. The 14 Devil Generals retreated from the battlefield. The Devil formation vanished, leaving behind 14 Devil Generals on the battlefield. The first-ranked Devil General who was sitting on the war chariot opened his eyes and swept his gaze over the battlefield. Next, we will choose the 8th to 14th Devil Generals. As for the exact ranking, you all should be clear of the rules. What rules? Qin Wentian transmitted his voice to Juyu. Chaotic General Battle. Juyu's expression was solemn. Being able to enter the top 14 was already a stroke of luck. For this battle, there was also Huang Hanliang and Lu Xuejia targeting her. Most probably, she wouldn't be able to advance any further. Chaotic General Battle, the protectors will be the protectors. If the protectors win, they can continue to stay on the battlefield. But if the protectors are defeated, the Devil Generals will have to fight against the opposing Devil Generals and protectors. If they lose, they will be directly eliminated. Similarly, if the protectors win against the opposing three, their opponents will be eliminated. Juyu spoke. In other words, when a group of protectors and Devil Generals are defeated, they would be the first to be eliminated. Qin Wentian spoke. You can understand it that way. Juyu nodded. In that case, if the protectors are stronger than the Devil Generals, wouldn't things be interesting? Qin Wentian silently mused. However, thinking about it, such a situation shouldn't have happened normally. Protectors were stronger than Devil Generals and most probably, they would have long thought of ways to replace the general. How could it be protectors? Unless the protectors of the Devil Generals in the top rankings were more powerful than the Devil Generals in the bottom rankings? For example, the protectors of the first-ranked Devil General might be stronger than the lower-ranked Devil Generals. However, they would rather be the protectors of the first-ranked Devil General as there were many benefits. Although they were only protectors in name, their authority wouldn't be any weaker compared to the lower-ranked Devil Generals. Also, in this battle there might be situations where one dies. If you know you will lose for sure, it's best to concede earlier. Juyu transmitted her voiceover to remind Qin Wentian. Lu Xuejia, your protector seems to have been chosen at the last minute. I'm afraid the battlefield would be disadvantageous to you. If you are willing to accompany me for a chat, I can get my protector to deal with that fellow for you. How about it? Situ laughed. Lu Xuejia's beautiful eyes glanced at Situ as she spoke. Protectors aren't Devil Generals. The outcome of this battle will ultimately be decided by the Devil General. Even if my protector is defeated, I will still be able to advance forward. Juyu, this originally shouldn't be your position. For this battle, your protector should fight first. Scram quickly. A Devil General impolitely spoke. Juyu was originally the last-ranked Devil General, and could only reach this step by luck. Now it's time for her to scram. I will protect you and help you get into the top 7. Qin Wentian spoke to Juyu, his words causing Juyu to freeze. After that, she only saw Qin Wentian walking out. Upon seeing this scene, Juyu smiled and spoke to the protector beside her. Follow him to battle. Right. That protector nodded and walked out together with Qin Wentian. Get your protector to come out. Qin Wentian stared at Lu Xuejia as he spoke. Lu Xuejia's countenance turned cold. Before this, Qin Wentian had already slain one of her protectors. Most probably, her other protector wouldn't be a match for Qin Wentian as well. You should know how you advanced. Since you chose me for the first battle, I will make you regret it. Lu Xuejia spoke. Her two protectors stepped out as they stared at Qin Wentian with a heavy expression on their faces. Boom! Qin Wentian's destructive immortal energy gushed forth frenziedly. An instant later, a pitch-black ancient halberd formed from destructive law energy appeared in his hand, resembling the color of his astral soul. At this moment, Qin Wentian no longer exuded that calmness. The him now only exuded a tyrannical sharpness. Since this was a battlefield for devil cultivators, he would use the stance of a devil sect to suppress them. Boom! A violent aura gushed forth. Right now, Qin Wentian's aura was extremely terrifying. Although he was only at the 7th level of Immortal Foundation, the towering might he exuded caused the protectors of Lu Xuejia to feel their hearts trembling. Qin Wentian stepped out, arriving in front of one of Lu Xuejia's protectors with a single step. His ancient halberd violently slashed out, causing the winds and clouds to change. The destructive might contained within the halberd was like a bloody maw, wanting to devour the life of the protector. That protector roared in rage. His entire body shone with a terrifying blood-colored devil light. He gathered all his strength and blasted out a devil punch. With a deafening sound, the fist light shattered apart. The terrifying ancient halberd shone with an extreme destructive light, wanting to annihilate everything. With a piercing sound, the ancient halberd directly pierced into the body of the protector, killing him. Lu Xuejia's countenance changed. Although she knew that her protector might not be able to defeat Qin Wentian, she didn't expect that he would be defeated so miserably. One couldn't help but say that choosing Qin Wentian as her protector was an extremely wise choice. Sadly, he had a grudge with the third-ranked devil general. Qin Wentian brandished his ancient halberd and walked towards another protector. That protector retreated as his countenance turned pale. I concede. Leaving aside how powerful Qin Wentian was, there was still another protector beside Qin Wentian. There was basically no chance of victory, he could only concede. With a domineering strike from Qin Wentian, Lu Xuejia's protector was defeated. The reason why Qin Wentian was so domineering was because he wanted to tell these devil generals that those who wanted to find trouble with him better be more careful. This could also be considered a reply to the devil general who berated Juyu earlier. If they wanted to eliminate Juyu, they had to first pass through this protector. And if they wanted to eliminate Lu Xuejia, they had to pass through her protector first. Now Lu Xuejia's protector was defeated. Next, it was Lu Xuejia's turn to fight. Lu Xuejia's expression was cold. Her eyes were extremely cold as she stared at Qin Wentian. Are you feeling unresigned because I abandoned you? In the devil sect, what's the use of feeling unresigned? As she spoke, Lu Xuejia stepped out. Law energy circulated around her as devil energy permeated her entire body. Her gaze caused people to feel fear in their hearts. For this battle, Lu Xuejia needed to challenge 3 devil generals and protectors. She didn't have to choose between Qin Wentian and Juyu. However, she would only choose Qin Wentian and Juyu. Juyu scram out. Lu Xuejia coldly spoke. After that, Juyu also stepped onto the battlefield. For this battle, the loser would be eliminated, becoming the 14th devil general. Undoubtedly, the possibility of Juyu being defeated was higher. Lu Xuejia has been a devil general for tens of years. How could the last-ranked general and a protector be able to shake her position? Although Qin Wentian might be very strong among protectors, how could a protector be able to compare to a devil general? I will restrain her. The 2 of you will assist me. Juyu spoke to Qin Wentian and Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed when he heard this. After that, he smiled and nodded. Okay. Juyu, the last-ranked devil general, are you even qualified to fight against me? As the sound of Lu Xuejia's voice faded, devil swords manifested around her. Devil sword diagrams manifested on her body, as though she was stepping on a body of devil swords. This was the law of the devil, the law of the sword. Her eyes didn't look at Juyu but was staring at Qin Wentian instead. She coldly spoke. Before this, I was restricted from borrowing the power of the war drum. But now the traitor is facing me directly. How can he not die? As she spoke, she stretched out her palm. A moment later, a tiny devil sword could be seen in her palm. However, the light radiating from this devil sword caused everyone to feel a chill in their hearts. Chapter 1236. The devil's sword extended from her palm to her fingers. Lu Xuejia's fingers held onto the devil's sword and in the next instant, she stabbed out with her finger. In an instant, Qin Wentian felt a sense of suffocation. A sword descended from the void, directly entering his sea of consciousness. That devil's sword seemed to still be in Lu Xuejia's hand, but it had already arrived before him. Careful! Juyu moved at the same instant Lu Xuejia stretched out her finger. A devil shield glowed with a dark light, akin to an indestructible armor of the devil gate, protecting Qin Wentian. Gotcha! That powerful devil shield instantly shattered into pieces. That surge of sword intent didn't vanish, it continued on its way towards Qin Wentian. At this moment, ancient characters appeared before Qin Wentian. These ancient characters gathered together, forming a palm imprint that blocked in front of him. The sword intent gushed forth as terrifying hissing sounds rang out. Lu Xuejia stepped out. Her devil might grew even stronger. Her sword penetrated through, aiming for Qin Wentian's head. The shadow of the divine turtle enveloped Qin Wentian, but the sword might still penetrated through it. That sword might was simply too fast. Qin Wentian could only raise his arms to block. When the sword intent slammed into Qin Wentian's arm, its might was already greatly weakened. When it slammed into Qin Wentian's arm glowed with a strange light. After which, the sword might lacerated a bloody wound on his arm before dissipating. For experts who can control a trace of immortal king might, even if they aren't geniuses at the very peak, their attacks can't be underestimated. Qin Wentian silently mused. This attack of Lu Xuejia was extremely terrifying. The power contained within it was sufficient to kill ordinary peak-level Immortal Foundation experts. Releasing his arm, Qin Wentian's eyes turned even more terrifying. At this moment he started to treat this battle seriously. However, Lu Xuejia furrowed her brows. Her powerful attack was a sure-kill sword, but it actually failed to take Qin Wentian's life. This made her very surprised. Although she was surprised, Lu Xuejia was a demon general who had been through hundreds of battles. Her entire body seemed to be wrapped in a lotus of swords, and when her palm struck out again, numerous lotus flowers formed by the devil's swords bloomed, wanting to shroud everyone within it and kill them. At this moment the entire battlefield was filled with lotus demon swords, and even Lu Xuejia's figure could not be seen. I'll shatter her attack, and you'll deal the killing blow. Qin Wentian spoke to Juyu. The other protector didn't even have the strength to retaliate under Lu Xuejia's attacks. Under the absolute suppression of strength, it was useless to rely on numbers, unless the protectors had sufficient strength. Although Juyu was puzzled by Qin Wentian's confidence, since he had spoken, she had already made her preparations. Qin Wentian stepped out. His flawless immortal foundation radiated boundless immortal light that enveloped him. The ancient halberd in his hands contained a destructive might that could penetrate through everything. He stepped out and unleashed a strike from the god's hand. The halberd was like a dragon, sweeping everything in its path. With this strike, dragon roars filled the air as numerous black devil dragons of destruction descended into the world. Roar! The dragon roars shook the heavens. The destructive demonic dragons glowed with ancient runes, shattering everything. They followed the ancient halberd and blasted towards Lu Xuejia. Lu Xuejia's expression instantly turned unsightly. The towering might contained within this strike actually caused her to feel an intense threat. From below, Lu Xuejia's body manifested a beam of black sword light, transforming into a gigantic sword that penetrated through everything, aiming for the devil dragons. Thunderous rumbling sounds rang out as both the sword and the demonic dragons trembled. Lu Xuejia pointed her finger at the demonic dragons in the air, wanting to destroy them. But at this moment, Juyu, who was also a devil general, arrived. Her palm blasted out towards Lu Xuejia as a gigantic devil shield blasted out, crushing everything. Lu Xuejia paled. She shouted loudly, "I concede." As the sound of her voice faded, the shield still slammed into her. Although Lu Xuejia used the devil's sword to protect herself, she was still heavily injured as she coughed out mouthfuls of blood. Her aura was dispirited and her countenance was pale. She inclined her head and stared at Qin Wentian and Juyu. These two joined forces and actually managed to injure her. She, Lu Xuejia, initially wanted to improve further in this devil ranking battle. Who would have thought that she would be stuck at the rank of number 14 instead? Qin Wentian stared at Lu Xuejia with a calm gaze. He then spoke to Juyu, who was beside him. "Let's return." Juyu nodded lightly as the two of them turned and departed. Lu Xuejia stared at the back view of Qin Wentian as she coldly spoke. "If it wasn't for the two of you joining forces, I would have definitely killed you. I've said it before. From the moment you cowered and chose to switch your protector, you have already lost." Qin Wentian didn't turn his head and spoke in a low voice. Lu Xuejia's heart was filled with reluctance. "Even now, I still firmly believe in my choice." Lu Xuejia knew what sort of character the third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan was. Although she was defeated, she wouldn't regret her decision to give up on Qin Wentian. Her heart wouldn't waver because of this. Walking to her current position, she had experienced too much and suffered too many defeats. As long as she was still alive, everything could be reborn. This was the conviction of experts on the devil path. The spectators stared at the two of them in bewilderment. Qin Wentian's strength was actually strong enough to contend against Qin Wentian. In that case, with his protector, it wouldn't be an easy thing to eliminate Juyu. If they wanted to force Juyu to fight, they first had to defeat her protector. Huang Hanling wasn't too surprised when he saw this scene. If Qin Wentian was too weak, wouldn't it be too boring? Since he was able to cause such a huge commotion in the Sacred Academy, he naturally had the ability. The following battles were very interesting. Although Juyu was originally the last-ranked Devil General, there was actually no one else who challenged her position. Everyone had seen the ending of the 9th-ranked Devil General Lu Xuejia. If one wanted to challenge Juyu, most probably only those ranked above her would be able to do so. When are you preparing to act? The 3rd-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan spoke to Huang Hanling, who was beside him. Zhong Yan didn't doubt Huang Hanling's strength at all. Although Qin Wentian was very strong, it wouldn't be a problem for Huang Hanling to kill him. There's no rush. The reason I allowed him to advance is because I want his life. Since he would die sooner or later, why not let him walk further? After all, only then would it be interesting. Huang Hanling laughed in a low voice. In addition, Devil General, don't you feel that it would be very interesting for the last-ranked Devil General to enter the top 7? When he stands at an unprecedented peak, do you want him to fall back into the abyss of despair? Zhong Yan shook his head and laughed. He didn't feel that this was very interesting. People of the Devil sect valued strength. Juyu has already walked too far ahead and should be eliminated. She didn't have the qualifications to enter the top 7. But since Huang Hanling wanted to play, let him be then. Because there was no one else to challenge, Qin Wentian and Juyu actually continued to advance mysteriously. Juyu would become the 7th-ranked Devil General because everyone understood that no matter how powerful her protector was, it was impossible for Juyu to advance any further in the following battles. Juyu herself also understood this point. Next, the rules for the ranking of the top 7 Devil Generals. For a Devil General, there will be a protector. Devil Generals will fight Devil Generals. Protectors will fight protectors. If you lose 2 rounds, you will be eliminated. If we fight against the 3rd-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan, you will defeat his protector while Zhong Yan defeats me. My ranking will still be below him. Juyu transmitted her voice to Qin Wentian. As for the top 7 Devil Generals, Juyu's battle had already ended prematurely. This means that even if I can defeat all the protectors, as long as their Devil General defeats you, in that case you would be ranked behind them. In other words, I'm already the last one. Even if you win all your battles, I won't be able to defeat their Devil General unless... Juyu directly spoke. Unless what? Qin Wentian asked. After a protector defeats the protector of an opponent, he can represent the Devil General to challenge the other Devil General. This is also the reason why the 3rd-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan needs to find a powerful protector. He needs his protector to block for him, allowing him to probe the strength of the 1st-ranked and 2nd-ranked Devil Generals. Juyu slowly spoke. She wanted Qin Wentian to fight against the top 6 Devil Generals? How could this be possible? Even if he could win, she wouldn't do this. When I invited you to be my protector, I also didn't expect that we would be able to reach this step. The ranking of the Devil sect depends on absolute strength. Even if the protector is strong, the Devil General still has to have a corresponding level of strength before they can sit stably on their positions. But if you send me too high up, I might not be able to sit stably on this position. Qin Wentian could understand, but he was puzzled. In that case, wouldn't it be meaningless for me to send you to the top? No. At the very least, after the ranking battle, I would still be able to gain some benefits. Juyu replied. Qin Wentian nodded. If this was the case, it wasn't too bad. Next, the top 6 Devil Generals were still there. Strength was strength, they were still able to stably guard their positions. In addition, it would be hard for anyone to shake their positions. Although Lu Xuejia was injured, she was still staring at the battlefield. At this moment, Juyu and Qin Wentian both seemed so tiny and inconsequential. For the next 6 Devil Generals, including their protectors, none of them were weak. The sound of footsteps rang out. Under the bewildered gazes of everyone, the first person who walked out was actually the protector of the 3rd-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan, Huang Hanling. He stared at Qin Wentian as he coldly laughed. I didn't expect to meet you here in the Devil's Sect. Sadly, even if you reach this step, you still have to die. I heard that for this adjudication battle, you are one of the most important characters in the Evergreen Immortal Sect. If you died here, it would surely be interesting, right? Huang Hanliang was thinking that when he carried Qin Wentian's head back, what expressions would the people from both sides have? Do you think that you are very strong? Qin Wentian stared at Huang Hanliang as he asked. Huang Hanliang laughed when he heard this baffling question. Maybe you still don't understand what the threshold to the Immortal King realm is. Although those who entered that place back then were all peak-level geniuses, it doesn't mean that all of them have high cultivation bases. It's not important whether you are very strong or not, but killing you shouldn't be too much of a problem. Remember this, the person who will kill you is none other than Huang Hanliang of the Nine Emperors Immortal State. As the sound of his voice faded, Huang Hanliang's immortal foundation erupted forth, manifesting a king-grade immortal foundation that shone with a human emperor light. Huang Hanliang, after killing him, finish off his devil generals as well. Since the last-ranked devil general has reached this step, he shouldn't exist anymore. Zhong Yan, who was at the back, coldly spoke. I'm willing to do so. Huang Hanliang smiled. Qin Wentian stepped out, stretching out his palms as destructive energy condensed into an ancient halberd. He stared into Huang Hanliang's eyes and spoke, to kill a trash of the second-ranked Nine Emperors Immortal State, if I can't finish him within 3 moves, it would be a humiliation for me, Qin Wentian. Chapter 1237. As the sound of his voice faded, Huang Hanliang's eyes narrowed as a dazzling immortal light radiated from him, so cold that it seeped into the bones. Trash from the Nine Emperors Immortal State? Killing him within 3 moves. The words of this Qin Wentian were simply arrogant to the point that he had no way to accept it. Although he, Huang Hanliang, couldn't be considered the one with the highest talent among the princes of the Nine Emperors Immortal State, his combat prowess was definitely one of the strongest. If not, he wouldn't have appeared in the Myriad Devil Islands during the adjudication battle. When he was at the peak of the 9th level, the Tiandao Sacred Academy hadn't opened yet and Huang Shatian was only at the 7th level. But at that time, Huang Shaishan's status was already as high as the sun in the sky. This had always made Huang Hanliang unhappy. This man before him was at the same level as Huang Shatian back then, yet he actually dared to say that he was trash? I've decided now, I won't let you die so easily. Huang Hanliang coldly spoke. As the sound of his voice faded, the sharpest human emperor immortal light frenziedly blasted out, engulfing everything in an instant. Qin Wentian was surrounded by the ancient runes as a resplendent light enveloped his entire body. This was especially so for the human emperor immortal light. Qin Wentian gripped the ancient halberd tightly as he lightly stepped forward. At the instant his foot landed, a destructive shadow of a great rock manifested on the ancient halberd. The energy of the god's hand flowed unceasingly into the ancient halberd, causing the might it exuded to grow stronger and stronger. Huang Hanliang furrowed his brows as a supreme human emperor immortal light radiated from him. At this instant, this entire space was enveloped by the golden emperor light. It was as though everything within this golden light was his law energy. If you want to kill me, you will have to walk out from my law energy first, Huang Hanliang said. Then he pointed his finger forward, and suddenly, many Renhuang silhouettes appeared in the boundless rules. They all slashed at Qin Wentian with terrifying Renhuang swords. Qin Wentian stood in the center of the law energy. This was the energy radiating from Huang Hanliang, manifested from law energy. Huang Hanliang had already stepped through that threshold and had done so for many years. Yet, Qin Wentian actually still dared to be so arrogant before him? Boom! A blood-colored light seemed to flow on Qin Wentian's body. He took another step forward and directly charged towards Huang Hanliang. He was like a heavenly rock, like a bolt of lightning. The ancient halberd pierced out, causing Huang Hanliang's countenance to change. Had this Qin Wentian gone mad? Not only did Qin Wentian ignore his rules, he even wanted to kill him? Boom! An extremely powerful law energy enveloped his body. He was clad in a Renhuang armor of rules, looking like an unparalleled Renhuang. He slashed out with his sword towards the incoming Qin Wentian. The ancient halberd collided with the sword. A black destructive rock shot out, like the sword of a heavenly rock, shattering his opponent's sword. Huang Hanling's ancient halberd advanced step by step, breaking through all the other forces. "You are courting death," Huang Hanling roared. The surrounding Renhuang swords had already arrived, slashing towards Qin Wentian's body. Accompanied by the sounds of slashing, the swords slashed onto Qin Wentian's body. However, Qin Wentian's ancient halberd broke through all defenses, directly piercing through Huang Hanling's Renhuang armor. An intense pain spread through his body. Huang Hanling's countenance instantly turned as pale as paper. The destructive power began to wreak havoc in his body. The ancient halberd penetrated through everything, killing its way into his body. Puffed with a muffled groan, blood flowed from the corner of Huang Hanling's mouth. His eyes stared fixedly at Qin Wentian. Was this person a lunatic? "You would rather die than kill me?" Huang Hanling's voice was bone-chilling. Those Renhuang swords slashed onto Qin Wentian. Did Qin Wentian want to perish together with him? "You overestimate yourself too much," Qin Wentian faintly spoke. A terrifying divine glow erupted from his body as the Renhuang swords fell onto the ground. They couldn't even break through the defenses of his body. How could this be considered perishing together? Huang Hanling didn't even injure or kill Qin Wentian. 3 moves. Seems like I've overestimated you. As the sound of Qin Wentian's voice faded, the destructive might of the ancient halberd in his hand completely erupted forth. Even the ancient halberd itself transformed into destructive energy that permeated Huang Hanling's body, breaking his immortal foundation and extinguishing his vitality. Huang Hanling's countenance turned ashen as fresh blood flowed unceasingly from the corner of his mouth. After that, his body slumped to the ground powerlessly. Qin Wentian squatted down and collected all the interspatial rings on Huang Hanling's body. As a prince of the 9 emperors' immortal state, Huang Hanling should still have some wealth. The devil generals in the surroundings stared at Qin Wentian's actions as their hearts trembled uncontrollably. When Huang Hanling unleashed his strength, they could clearly sense how strong he was. However, he only managed to kill him with a single strike. Leaving aside 3 strikes, the protector of the 3rd-ranked devil general Zhong Yan, Huang Hanling, was killed by Qin Wentian with just a single strike. This truly caused the hearts of everyone to tremble. Juyu's black eyes flashed. She didn't expect Qin Wentian to be so powerful, killing a protector of the 3rd-ranked devil general Zhong Yan. This indicated that Qin Wentian's strength should be above hers. Lu Xuejia, who was spectating from the side, also froze. She initially thought that this battle would be Qin Wentian's final battle. Maybe Qin Wentian would be able to struggle for a period of time, but she would never have imagined such an ending. With just a single strike, Qin Wentian insta-killed Zhong Yan's protector. This meant that if she didn't give up on Qin Wentian earlier, with the protectors of the 28 devil generals, there would be no one who would be able to do anything to Qin Wentian. He could sweep through them all and even challenge the devil generals for her. Zhong Yan's expression was extremely cold. Huang Hanling was actually killed by Qin Wentian. This time around he had high hopes for his protector Huang Hanling. Huang Hanling could help him block the challenges from the later devil generals and probe the strength of the 1st and 2nd devil generals. As for him, he only needed to focus fully on challenging the 1st-ranked and 2nd-ranked devil generals. But now Huang Hanling was dead. This meant that there was no one else to help him block the challenges from the later devil generals. He had to expend a lot of energy to deal with them. However, Qin Wentian wouldn't care about what they were thinking. He left Huang Hanling's corpse there and returned to Juyu's side. After killing Huang Hanling, he seemed to have taken a small step closer to victory in the adjudication battle. "Clean this up," Zhong Yan coldly spoke. His subordinates brought Huang Hanling's corpse away while Zhong Yan's eyes turned to Qin Wentian and Juyu. "Do you want me to help you challenge the devil generals?" Qin Wentian transmitted his voice to Juyu. Just like what Juyu said, as the last-ranked devil general, it was impossible for her to win against the other 6 generals here. "No need. I've already said it before. It's already beyond my expectations to reach this step. It's not suitable for me to advance any further." Juyu replied, "Your strength has also surpassed my expectations. You will become a devil general sooner or later. I will consider if I should give my position as a devil general to you." As they transmitted their voices, Zhong Yan had already stepped out. He stood with his hands clasped behind his back, exuding a cold aura as he stared at Juyu. Careful, he has killing intent. Qin Wentian transmitted his voice to Juyu. Juyu nodded. She stepped out and spoke. I know I'm not a match for you, third-rank devil general. Hence I concede. Juyu was also a very decisive person. Although she would become the 7th-rank devil general if there were no accidents, and it would be very embarrassing to admit defeat, in the world of devil cultivators, survival meant everything. She clearly knew that Zhong Yan had killing intent towards her. But why would she fight? As long as they fought, Zhong Yan would definitely kill her without mercy. Hence, she might as well not give Zhong Yan such a chance. Juyu, you have already reached here. At the very least, you will become the 7th-rank devil general. In such a battlefield, how can we allow you to give up just because you're afraid to fight? My Blackstone Devil sect would rather kill such a devil general than to allow him to exist. Zhong Yan coldly spoke. As the sound of his voice faded, he stepped out. Even if Juyu retreated, he still wouldn't give up. As the 3rd-rank devil general, how could he care about the last-rank devil general? Since his killing intent was already stirred, how could he allow Juyu to retreat safely? General Zhong Yan, what do you want? Juyu's expression changed. I don't want anything, it's just a battle between devil generals. Zhong Yan stepped out again. In an instant, a terrifying might akin to doomsday descended. His body abruptly flickered with black flames of destruction, enveloping the entire battlefield. His palm grabbed out in the air as the black devil flames incinerated everything. Juyu's countenance changed unceasingly. Her devil armor glowed with a resplendent light as she defended against this power. Qin Wentian's expression changed. Juyu didn't want to continue and would rather admit defeat. But Zhong Yan clearly didn't want to spare her. In addition, Qin Wentian saw that the 1st-rank devil general was still calmly sitting on the war chariot, while the 2nd-rank devil general was coldly smiling as he watched this battle. Neither of them had any intention to interfere. The battles in the devil sect were originally extremely cruel. It was extremely normal for one side to die or the other to live. As the last-rank devil general, Juyu shouldn't have appeared in this position. Zhong Yan's words weren't wrong. This was also the reason why Juyu didn't want to continue advancing. In this devil sect where everyone believed in strength, without sufficient strength, you wouldn't be able to obtain the corresponding respect. Even if she wanted to admit defeat, Zhong Yan wouldn't agree. Rumble. Destructive energy gushed forth, wanting to incinerate this entire space. That gust of devil flames felt extremely unbearable. Juyu retreated backwards, wanting to leave the battlefield. This battle she definitely couldn't fight. Lu Xuejia's eyes flashed when she saw this scene. As expected, the 3rd-rank devil general Zhong Yan was enraged. Her predictions were right. Even if she chose Qin Wentian as her protector, how would Zhong Yan spare her? Naturally, if it was her, Lu Xuejia, who became the 7th-rank devil general, as long as Qin Wentian died in battle, Zhong Yan wouldn't make things difficult for her. But for Juyu, she managed to reach this position. Qin Wentian even killed Zhong Yan's protector, Huang Hanling. How could the tyrannical 3rd-rank devil general spare Juyu? Zhong Yan spun his devil foundation as a black destructive devil flame spear appeared, directly stabbing out. Juyu frenziedly defended. Her devil shield glowed with resplendent light. The sound of impact rang out as the devil shield was directly shattered into pieces. At the same time, Juyu was forced backwards from the impact. Zhong Yan continued to step forward, his pitch-black eyes exceptionally cold. Chapter 1238. When Qin Wentian saw Juyu in danger, his expression changed, becoming extremely unsightly to behold. Although he only met Juyu once and there wasn't any friendship between them, they were on the same side after all. Juyu allowed him to participate in this battle, which was why he was able to kill Huang Hanling. Right now, when he saw how tyrannical the 3rd-rank devil general was, he naturally felt unhappy. Isn't this a little against the rules? Qin Wentian stepped out as his destructive energy converged into a tyrannical ancient halberd. Impudent! Why are you interfering in a battle between devil generals? A tyrannical voice rang out. It was none other than the 4th-rank devil general, Pang Huang. He also hoped that the 3rd-rank devil general would finish off Juyu. In their eyes, Juyu wasn't worthy of the position of the 7th-ranked Devil General. Juyu has already admitted defeat. Qin Wentian spoke. As the sound of his voice faded, the ancient halberd in his hand directly stabbed out. The shadow of a skyrock could be seen on the halberd as it flew towards the 3rd-ranked Devil General. The 3rd-ranked Devil General was originally fighting against Juyu. But when he felt this sudden attack, he frowned. The devil spear in his hand violently stabbed out, causing a terrifying abyss of devil fire to appear, engulfing the ancient halberd within. Interfering in a battle between devil generals, do you want to die? Peng Huang tyrannically spoke. Qin Wentian acted as though he didn't hear it, and continued moving forward. At this moment, a thunderous boom rang out. The 1st-ranked Devil General abruptly opened his eyes as he spoke. Stop. Qin Wentian naturally knew that this voice was directed at him. He furrowed his brows tightly. This was what a Devil General was like. How cruel and cold-blooded was he? What rules were there? There were no rules in a battle between the Devil sections. The 3rd-ranked Devil General forcefully acted against Juyu, and no one stopped him. Everyone watched on with excitement, waiting for Zhongyan to take down Juyu, who didn't belong to the position of the 7th-ranked Devil General. However, when he stepped out, the 4th-ranked Devil General told him to stop. At this moment, even the 1st-ranked Devil General also spoke out. The gazes of everyone turned to Qin Wentian. Even the 1st-ranked Devil General had spoken. Even the 3rd-ranked and 4th-ranked Devil Generals had to consider his orders. The generals below him all had to obey him. His authority was towering, and he could even meet with the Blackstone Devil King frequently. If he wanted Qin Wentian to stop, then the outcome of this Devil General battle was already determined. Juyu has reached an unprecedented height. But because the Devil Generals all felt that her strength wasn't worthy of her position, she shouldn't exist. The words of the 1st Devil General were unquestionable. But that was for the people of the Blackstone Devil sect, not for Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian, why would he care what rank you were? Hence, when he saw Juyu in danger, he didn't hesitate to stab out with another finger. As the finger landed, the sword transformed into a great rock that blasted towards the terrifying abyss of flames. The eyes of the 1st-ranked Devil General gleamed with a dark golden luster as a cold intent radiated from him. After that, his protector stepped out as the golden war chariot soared forward, instantly arriving at the battlefield. Before Qin Wentian, the protector and Devil Knight of the 1st-ranked Devil General appeared. Kill! The dark golden spear in the protector's hand stabbed out. The Devil Knights behind him also unleashed their attacks at the same time. In just an instant, Devil Thunder rumbled as the Thunder Chariot rumbled. Terrifying bolts of black lightning arced through the air, creating a scene of destruction as they shot towards Qin Wentian. For those who dared to defy the words of the 1st-ranked Devil General, they naturally had to be killed. Such a tyrannical scene caused the hearts of everyone to tremble. As expected of the Protector and Devil Knight of the 1st-ranked Devil General, such strength was sufficient to cause many Devil Generals to be stunned. This Protector was also an expert who had already peeked through the gate of the Immortal King realm. Most probably, there weren't many among the Devil Generals who could defeat him. Before this, the 3rd-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan sought out Huang Hanling because he wanted him to fight against the protectors of the 1st-ranked and 2nd-ranked Devil Generals. But now when they saw the combat prowess of the protector of the 1st-ranked Devil General, everyone silently thought that even for Huang Hanling, it would be extremely hard for him to pass this hurdle. Boom! Terrifying bolts of lightning directly blasted into Qin Wentian's body as destructive light flashed. However, everyone discovered that Qin Wentian was still standing there. His body seemed to be clad in a fiend god armor, glowing with a divine light. The destructive war chariot blasted into him, but the chariot was actually shattered into pieces. Boom! Stepping out, Qin Wentian stabbed out with his finger. As this finger descended, a scene of destruction appeared in this space. Sword light ravaged the area, clashing against the attack of the 1st-ranked Devil General. Make way! Qin Wentian walked out as he coldly spoke. At this moment, without Qin Wentian's interference, Zhong Yan instantly suppressed Juyu. The devil armor on Juyu was already shattered. Her black hair fluttered in the wind as blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. Her eyes were pitch black, incomparably cold. This Zhong Yan actually wanted to kill her on the spot. In addition, the other devil generals all stood on his side, feeling that she deserved to die. In this battle between devil generals, who wouldn't covet the position of the top ranker? Her strength was indeed insufficient to be the 7th-ranked devil general, but did she deserve to be killed just like that? Boom! Another attack slammed over as a hellish abyss appeared, wanting to bury her within. Juyu took out her devil medallion and directly crushed it, transforming it into a powerful defensive barrier before her. A thunderous boom rang out. She managed to block this attack, but the devil medallion was shattered. Juyu coughed out a mouthful of blood as she spoke. Devil General Juyu requests an audience with the attendant of the Devil King. From the Devil Palace of the Blackstone Devil King, a powerful aura gushed over, causing many devil generals to have a look of bewilderment on their faces. This Juyu actually destroyed her own devil medallion? She was simply crazy. The 3rd-ranked devil general Zhong Yan's eyes flashed with killing intent when he saw this scene. Asking for the attendant of the Devil King? If he killed Juyu, even if the attendant of the Devil King appeared, what could he do to him, the 3rd-ranked devil general? As he thought of this, the destructive might from Zhong Yan gushed forth once more, causing the hearts of the experts in the surroundings to tremble. The 3rd-ranked devil general was indeed the 3rd-ranked devil general. Even at this moment he still wasn't willing to give up and wanted to kill Juyu no matter what. On the other side of the battlefield, Qin Wentian could feel Zhong Yan's unwillingness to give up. His gaze was extremely cold as he blasted out with both his palms. Terrifying law energy enveloped the area, causing the expressions of the protectors and magic knights in front of him to drastically change. With a roar of anger, the war chariots and lightning bolts were like a magnificent army of thousands of horses and horses, galloping forth. Qin Wentian's attack landed, shattering everything. The devil knights of the 1st-ranked devil general were all forced back, coughing out blood. Even the protectors were forced back as well. Law energy, how powerful! Before this, he was still concealing his strength. Everyone stared in shock at Qin Wentian. This fellow seemed to have grasped a trace of immortal king might as well. That instant of eruption of his attack swept through everything. However, Qin Wentian didn't have the time to care about their thoughts. He blasted out with his palms, causing a gigantic palm imprint to descend from the sky, blasting towards Zhong Yan's attack on Juyu. Rumbling sounds rang out unceasingly. The terrifying windstorm caused Juyu to be flung through the air as she coughed out blood. Numerous abyss devil spears were shattered into pieces. Zhong Yan turned his gaze to Qin Wentian, who was rushing over as his killing intent gushed forth. Qin Wentian came before Juyu only to see that at this moment, a destructive long spear had pierced through Juyu's chest. Although the spear transformed into devil energy, it still left behind a terrifying wound as fresh blood flowed unceasingly. Cough. Juyu coughed out a mouthful of blood. She stared at Qin Wentian as her cold eyes flashed with a faint smile. How dangerous. Many thanks. Don't worry, I will kill him for you. Qin Wentian spoke. But at this moment a figure soared through the air, standing in the air. This figure was none other than the personal attendant of the Devil King. The strength of the personal attendant of the Devil King was extremely terrifying. All of them were chosen from the devil generals who stood at the peak in history. This personal attendant was also a devil general back then. His eyes were cold, sweeping his gaze over everyone. Many people even bowed to him, but the first devil general continued sitting there, glancing at his subordinate who was injured by Qin Wentian. Juyu, explain. The personal attendant turned his gaze to Juyu as he asked. The 3rd-ranked devil general wanted to kill me. Juyu had no choice but to give up. Juyu replied, Do you know what your actions signify? The personal attendant coldly spoke. I know. I'll withdraw from this battle, and also remove my position as a devil general. I'll pass it to my protector Qin Wentian. His strength is stronger than me, and he has the qualifications to take on the position of devil general. Juyu spoke, her words causing the eyes of everyone to gleam with sharpness. This Juyu was truly decisive, directly giving up on her position. The personal attendant glanced at Qin Wentian. After that, he turned to the first devil general and asked, First devil general, what do you think? The first devil general stared at Qin Wentian as he coldly spoke, You are very impudent. But since you can force my protector to retreat, You do indeed have the qualifications to be a devil general. Fine. Since this is the case, you will replace Juyu from now onwards and be a devil general. The personal attendant waved his hand as the devil medallion flew towards Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian stretched his hand out to receive it as he glanced at Juyu. Since I have already given up on this battle, help me back. Juyu spoke to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian nodded and brought Juyu away. Everyone stared at their backs as complicated expressions appeared on their faces. Lu Xuejia was even more taken aback. Qin Wentian actually replaced Juyu as a devil general. As long as there are magic knights under Juyu, I am willing to accept them as my subordinates. Who is willing to join me? The third-ranked devil general Zhong Yin stared at Juyu's subordinates as he spoke. The eyes of those knights flashed with sharpness. This was an opportunity. We pay our respects to the devil general. Someone directly gave up on Juyu and paid his respects to the third-ranked devil general. We pay our respects to the devil general. Even one of Juyu's protectors had betrayed her. The status of the third-ranked devil general wasn't something Juyu could compare to. Qin Wentian and Juyu halted their steps only to hear Juyu continuing, "Let's go." Qin Wentian didn't say anything and brought Juyu away. The third-ranked devil general Zhong Yin coldly laughed as he stared at their backs. Ultimately, this is just a farce. Everyone stared at the two of them as they spoke. Even their subordinates had betrayed them. At this moment, they had no idea that in the near future, Qin Wentian would use an iron-blooded method to cleanse the devil general's manner of blood. Chapter 1239. Qin Wentian and Juyu returned to the devil palace Juyu was in. The devil battle was still ongoing, but Qin Wentian didn't care about this. No matter who the first-ranked devil general was, it had nothing to do with him. Ultimately, there were no changes to the ranking. The first-ranked devil general was still the first-ranked devil general. Nobody could shake him. The second-ranked devil general, the Blood Butcher, was still the third-ranked devil general. Everything that happened next naturally had nothing to do with Juyu, who had withdrawn from the devil battle. Since she had withdrawn and handed over her position, the new devil general Qin Wentian was merely the 28th-ranked devil general. In the devil palace Qin Wentian was in, the atmosphere was somewhat cold and cheerless. Juyu's injuries were gradually recovering. At this moment, the two of them stood outside the palace and stared downwards. Your devil knights and the devil army you control are inferior to the 9th-ranked devil general, Lu Xuejia. Qin Wentian directly spoke. Now she is already yours. Juyu smiled. However, during these days, because of the rumors in the outside world as well as the betrayal, these people are all absent-minded. Most probably, they are all mocking me, a former devil general. I was defeated by the third-ranked devil general. What qualifications do they have to mock me? As for my position as a devil general, if you want it, I can give it back to you anytime. Qin Wentian spoke. I've already offended many people. Becoming a devil general would be very miserable for me. It's more suitable for me to be your protector. I believe that this is a bright path for me. Juyu, the former last-ranked devil general, was actually willing to be a protector. Although she was ranked last, if she was a protector, she would definitely be able to stand on equal footing with those top-ranked protectors. Devil generals as protectors? Qin Wentian laughed. In the devil palace Lu Xuejia was in, she sat on the majestic devil throne. Devil might radiated from her as a faint black devil sword light could be seen revolving around her. At this moment, Lu Xuejia abruptly opened her eyes as a dazzling sword light gleamed in them. Men. Lu Xuejia's cold voice rang out. As the sound of her voice faded, a devil knight bowed. I pay my respects to Devil General. Are there any movements in the residence of the 28th Devil General? Lu Xuejia asked. No, the Devil General Qin Wentian and the ex-Devil General Juyu have never stepped out of the Devil Hall. Continue to pay attention to the movements, report back to me at any time, Lu Xuejia coldly said. The man then took his leave. Lu Xuejia's beautiful eyes stared out of the Devil Palace as Qin Wentian's silhouette appeared in her deep and dark eyes. In the past, she had never thought that her state of mind would be disturbed by a protector. However, the appearance of Qin Wentian had done it. She wanted to see Qin Wentian, who had been her protector in the past. She wanted to see how he would end up in the Devil's Doctrine. However, ever since Juyu was injured, Qin Wentian, who was the Devil General, didn't make any moves. In fact, the Devil Knights under him as well as the Devil Army had no reaction at all. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. Juyu's injuries had already recovered. Today, on the stairway leading up to the Devil Hall, Qin Wentian and Juyu stood there, staring at the people in the Devil Hall. The people in this Devil Hall seemed to have become extremely lazy ever since the Devil ranking battle. They were far from the imposing manner Qin Wentian saw in Lu Shuajia's Devil Hall back then. Qin Wentian could only smile and shake his head. "Do we really want to go?" Juyu asked. "Are you afraid?" Qin Wentian asked. "Since I'm already your protector, since you have made the decision, I naturally have to go with you. It's just that, only the two of us?" Juyu stared at the people in the Devil Hall as she asked. "Have you forgotten how those people betrayed you back then? It's just a single sentence from the third-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan. What's the use of having so many people?" Qin Wentian had a mocking smile on his face as he stepped forward. Juyu stared at Qin Wentian as a soul-stirring light flashed in her eyes. It was extremely rare for her to have such a radiant light in her eyes. The young man who came from the immortal realms exuded an aura that caused people to yearn for him. With a flash of her silhouette, Juyu followed after Qin Wentian. A radiant smile appeared on her face, and at this moment, the coldness and devilish intent radiating from her had completely vanished. Being able to fight this battle, even if she died, she wouldn't regret it. The Devil Sects in the four directions. In the direction of the Northern Devil Palace, the third-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan's Devil Hall was incomparably imposing. There were experts guarding the entrance, and a black-colored flame dragon statue could be seen there, looking extremely lifelike. Qin Wentian and Juyu were currently standing outside the Devil Hall. Their gazes were staring ahead. "Who are you guys?" The guards at the entrance berated. "The number 28 Devil General Qin Wentian is here to challenge the third-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan." Behind Qin Wentian, Juyu stepped out as she spoke. As a protector of Qin Wentian, there were some things that Juyu naturally had to do. Her at this moment had already set aside her pride as a Devil General. Right now, she was merely a protector of Qin Wentian. Hence, she walked forward. Although she was alone, she still moved forward steadily, exuding a cold aura as she opened up a path. The two of them came to the Devil Hall of the third-ranked Devil General Zhong Yan to challenge him. Not only that, he was the number 28 Devil General. If it wasn't for them personally witnessing this, the guards would have thought that they had heard wrongly. In the Blackstone Devil sect, there had never been such a ridiculous thing before. But at this moment, there were only two people standing before them. There wasn't even a single Devil Knight among them. Although they felt that this was ridiculous, as a former Devil General, the guards knew that Juyu wasn't someone they could contend against. Hence, they didn't obstruct them, allowing Juyu and Qin Wentian to walk past them, opening up a path for them. Juyu and Qin Wentian entered. The two guards coldly laughed. They knew that since they were here to challenge the third-ranked Devil General, the instant these two stepped out of the Devil Hall, it was already destined that they would never come out again. They would never come out again. The last-ranked Devil General Qin Wentian and his protectors are here to challenge the third-ranked Devil General. When Qin Wentian and Juyu stepped into the Devil Hall, a loud voice rang out behind them. The experts in the Devil Hall all heard it. In the Devil Hall where the third-ranked Devil General was at, numerous figures flew over. They stood in different locations in the air, staring at Qin Wentian and Juyu. However, they weren't in a hurry to act. They only quietly watched as the two of them advanced forward. On the stairway up ahead, a figure slowly stepped out. He walked to the top of the stairway and stared down at Qin Wentian and Juyu. This person was none other than the third-ranked Devil General, Zhong Yan. "Are you guys in such a hurry to die?" Zhong Yan's eyes of darkness were like bottomless abysses. He was truly impressed by the courage of Qin Wentian and Juyu. The two of them actually dared to step into his Devil Hall. "Whether I want to die or not, you will know after you try." Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at Zhong Yan. "If you want to challenge me directly, that would depend on whether you are qualified or not." Zhong Yan turned his gaze towards a certain direction. "You guys were once Juyu's subordinates. Now the opportunity to gain merit has arrived." These experts were none other than Juyu's protectors and subordinates. Their expressions changed when they heard Zhong Yan's voice. Betraying Juyu was merely for the sake of a brighter future. However, they weren't Zhong Yan's subordinates and naturally needed a chance to gain merit. But if they fought against Juyu, this ex-devil general, they didn't have much confidence. Now they had no other choice. Their silhouettes flashed as they moved towards Juyu, just in time to clean up the traitors. Leave these people to me. Juyu spoke. Okay, you don't have to bother with the others. Qin Wentian spoke. After that, Juyu moved towards her former subordinates. As for Qin Wentian, he stepped out into the air, directly moving towards the third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan. Boom! Waves of devil might erupted forth. The experts on the left and right of him all rushed towards Qin Wentian. They brandished their spears and stabbed out at the same time. With just a single strike, a terrifying devil dragon manifested. Qin Wentian's immortal foundation shone with light. In an instant, the entire space was filled with law energy, radiating outwards with him as the center. Didn't your devil generals tell you that before absolute power, no matter how many people you have, it's the same as courting death? A cold voice rang out from Qin Wentian's mouth. He pointed his finger at the void, but as his finger landed, numerous terrifying golden-winged rocks suddenly appeared, tearing everything apart. Poochie poochie. In the air, blood rained down from the sky as screams of misery rang out. In an instant, over 10 experts were killed. A body of laws. As expected, you can also control immortal king might. The third-ranked devil general stared at Qin Wentian, but there were no emotions in his eyes at all. It was like the deaths of his subordinates couldn't affect his state of heart at all. Even more experts rushed towards Qin Wentian. Staring at the coldness in Zhong Yan's eyes, Qin Wentian sighed silently. Boom! An even stronger pressure gushed forth. His body abruptly expanded to over 10 meters in size. Since all of you want to die, I will grant you your wish. Qin Wentian roared, blasting out with both his palms. Instantly, 2 terrifying primordial chaos runes appeared, their roars shaking the mountains and rivers. Everywhere they passed by, blood flowed like a river. In an instant, experts in 2 directions were all killed. This was a shocking sight to behold. Those who obstruct me die. Qin Wentian roared. He continued walking forward, stabbing out with his finger as the ancient characters transformed into sharp swords, killing everything in their path. He continued forward step by step, moving towards the location where the third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan was standing. Since these people wanted to obstruct him, even if he had to bathe the entire devil palace in blood, he still had to kill Zhong Yan. Qin Wentian was like a god of death, unstoppable. When the strongest subordinates of Zhong Yan arrived before him, Qin Wentian coldly spoke, After this battle, all of you will be my subordinates. I don't wish for this devil sect to be completely wiped out. Just scram now. As he spoke, he stomped on the air, advancing forward. The heavens and earth rumbled as 9 colored greater demons revolved around him, exuding a might that shook the heavens and earth. The experts before him all felt their hearts trembling. Third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan die. Qin Wentian blasted out. As the sound of his voice faded, a world-devouring vortex manifested, gushing towards Zhong Yan. At this instant, the third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan turned ashen. He felt an irresistible force bearing down on him. Not long ago, Zhong Yan still thought that Qin Wentian was here to die. But when this force bore down on him, he actually felt a pressure that came from the depths of his soul. With a roar of rage, Zhong Yan erupted forth with his strongest state. However, that world-destroying might bore down on him, wanting to devour everything. Numerous figures turned their heads, and after that, they only saw the powerful third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan being directly devoured by that terrifying attack. All defenses were useless. Rumble, the stairway crumbled as the ground crumbled. The destructive might destroyed everything, causing dust to fly about. The battle in the Devil Palace came to an abrupt halt. When everything became clear again, the third-ranked devil general had long disappeared. Chapter 1240. Was the third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan powerful? Of course he was. If not, he wouldn't be able to sit on the position of the third-ranked devil general. However, with just a single strike, he was annihilated. The powerful third-ranked devil general stood at the top of the devil path, exuding arrogance that no one could climb. Yet when Qin Wentian appeared before him, he only needed a single strike to blast him off the divine altar, and even killed him. Such a shock wave caused the entire devil sect to fall into silence. Only the gazes of everyone were fixedly staring in a direction. Over there, Qin Wentian walked up the broken staircase, quietly floating there. His powerful aura was retracted, but just by standing there, he already exuded a sense of imposingness. Juyu's heart trembled intensely. She had thought that Qin Wentian might be very powerful, or he wouldn't dare to say that he would bring her here. But she didn't dare to imagine that Qin Wentian would be so powerful to the extent where he could insta-kill Zhong Yan. In that case, how could he be so low-profile during the devil ranking battle? She remembered that Qin Wentian had asked her before if she needed his help to challenge the devil generals. At that time she rejected because she felt that she wasn't qualified enough. She also felt that it was fine for Qin Wentian to fight the protectors, but it would be extremely difficult for him to fight against the devil generals. But at this moment, she understood the weight of Qin Wentian's words. If she had nodded her head back then, she simply didn't dare to imagine what would have happened next. Seems like back then, the first-ranked Devil Knight's obstruction, their attitude and her injuries had completely infuriated Qin Wentian, resulting in such a terrifying battle. Those subordinates of Juyu who hadn't been killed yet were all trembling in fear. Their countenances were as pale as paper. Back then when Qin Wentian brought Juyu away from the devil ranking battle, they all betrayed him because of a single sentence from Zhong Yan. But at this moment, Qin Wentian brought Juyu and directly killed his way to the third-ranked devil palace. Just like how the second-ranked devil general, the Blood Butcher, massacred the third-ranked devil palace. We pay our respects to the devil general. It was unknown who reacted first as he called out. In an instant the hearts of everyone trembled. Yes, they were so shocked that they seemed to have forgotten that from now on Qin Wentian was the third-ranked devil general. Greetings, devil general. A series of voices rang out. I pay my respects to the devil general. Gradually these voices converged into a torrent, echoing throughout the entire palace. Terrifying sound waves rose into the air, spreading far into the distance. At this moment, everyone bowed down and stared at the young man floating in the air as if they were worshipping a saint. From now onwards, he was the third-ranked devil general. The two guards outside were so frightened that their countenances turned pale. They knelt on one knee and stared at the interior of the palace with sincerity in their eyes. They thought that Qin Wentian and Juyu were here to court death. But at this moment they understood that they were wrong. The young man who walked in from the entrance was none other than the third-ranked devil general. Qin Wentian surveyed the surroundings. Although his eyes were calm, they were filled with a supreme imposingness in the eyes of everyone. Nobody dared to match his gaze. Those who acted against Qin Wentian before were all trembling in fear. Broken pieces of land could be seen on the ground, and there were even traces of fresh blood. It was a terrifying sight. Right now they had no hesitation. As long as Qin Wentian waved his hand, blood would flow like a river. Juyu. Qin Wentian didn't look at anyone. He was staring at Juyu instead. Here. Juyu spoke in a clear voice, completely immersing herself in her role. She wasn't a devil general. She was the protector of the third-ranked devil general, Qin Wentian. You can decide how to deal with those traitors. Everything that happens next will be handled by you. Qin Wentian spoke to Juyu. Yes, devil general. Juyu nodded. After that, she only saw Qin Wentian turning and walking towards the devil palace. There were still people bowing beside him. Everywhere Qin Wentian passed by, there was only silence, only reverence. The new third-ranked devil general, Qin Wentian, killed the previous third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan with a single strike. Clearly, his strength wasn't just on a single level. Zhong Yan didn't manage to surpass the position of the Blood Butcher. But maybe Qin Wentian would be able to do so. In the future, this devil palace might even become the residence of the second-ranked devil general. Qin Wentian entered the majestic devil hall. 2 rows of powerful devil weapons could be seen on both sides of the hall. These were all weapons belonging to the third-ranked devil general Zhong Yan. Right in front of him there was a majestic devil throne. Behind the throne there was a secret door. Qin Wentian walked over and opened it. After that he saw many treasures inside. Some of them belonged to Zhong Yan, But there were also many inheritance treasures belonging to other devil generals. For example, some powerful devil arts and innate techniques. As long as one became a devil general, they would be able to freely read and cultivate them. Drawing in a deep breath, Qin Wentian stabilized the fluctuations of his aura. Earlier, although the battle ended in the blink of an eye, that tyrannical attack at the end had exhausted a great deal of his energy. The treasured cauldron was a fusion of the 8 supreme demonic arts, augmented by God's hand, as well as a wisp of immortal king might. With such tyrannical strength, it was only normal for Zhong Yan to be insta-killed. Even for Huang Shatian back then when he was in the Sacred Academy, such an attack would at the very least be able to heavily injure him. As for that trace of immortal king might, Qin Wentian had already comprehended it during the last lecture he gave in the Sacred Academy. At that time he didn't merely break through to the 7th level of Immortal Foundation. Qin Wentian walked to the bookshelf and browsed through the devil arts and innate techniques. Although he was Wuxiu of the immortal realms and cultivated immortal energy, immortals and devils were interlinked. There wasn't too great of a difference between them, it was just that their attributes were different. Hence, it was still very easy for him to browse through these devil arts and innate techniques. He wanted to see if there was anything he could learn from them. As for cultivating these devil arts, there was no need for him to do so. Qin Wentian himself was extremely powerful. God's hand, in addition to the perfection of the mirror screen in the Tiandao Sacred Academy back then, how could the innate techniques of a mere devil general from the Blackstone Devil sect be able to compare to them? However, Qin Wentian was still extremely serious as he browsed through the books. The immortal and devil Daos were mutually corroborating each other, allowing him to gain some insights. The sound of footsteps rang out from outside. After Juyu made the arrangements outside, she walked in and stood below the devil hall. "Come on in, there's no need for you to be so polite." Qin Wentian's voice rang out. Only then did Juyu step past the devil throne and came to Qin Wentian's side. "The cultivation arts and innate techniques here should be stronger compared to what you cultivated, right?" Qin Wentian inclined his head and asked Juyu. "The collection of the 3rd-ranked devil general is naturally much stronger compared to the last-ranked devil general." Juyu nodded. "In the future this place will be yours. There's no need for me to agree, you can just come and go as you please." Qin Wentian smiled at Juyu, causing Juyu's eyes to freeze as she stared at Qin Wentian. However, she couldn't see through him. His smiling eyes were so deep that there was no bottom to them. What sort of person was he exactly? Earlier, the tyrannical Qin Wentian caused her to feel fear and respect. But now he was so calm, causing her to feel as though she was bathing in the spring breeze. It was the same person, but there was actually such a huge difference when he was chatting and when he was fighting. This should be his innate charm. His enemies would have to endure the most tyrannical anger, while his friends would be able to enjoy the warm smile of the spring breeze. "Although I'm a devil general, you will be in charge of everything in this devil palace in the future. In addition, I need you to help me with something." Qin Wentian spoke. "Okay." Juyu nodded. Seems like her decision wasn't wrong. Following Qin Wentian as a protector, her authority was indeed greater compared to the last-ranked devil general. Qin Wentian would hand everything to her. Other than the name, there was no difference between her and the 3rd-ranked devil general. "I will transmit my immortal sense to you." Qin Wentian spoke. After that, a strand of his immortal sense pierced into the center of Juyu's brows. "Have you memorized the names of these 100 people?" Juyu nodded. "Use the influence of the devil sect to search for them. If you find them, invite them to come to the Blackstone Devil sect to meet me. Just say that Qin Wentian is looking for them, and you will understand." Qin Wentian instructed. "I will show you some more people." As he spoke, Qin Wentian used his immortal sense to transmit the image of 100 people to Juyu's mind. "If you discover any of them, don't startle them. Just come back and report to me." "Yes, I will do my best to complete this matter." Juyu nodded. Qin Wentian nodded lightly. This was the reason why he wanted to join the Blackstone Devil sect and become a devil general. The strength of a single person was limited. If he wanted to find the people on this island, he had to borrow the help of external forces. The adjudication battle merely sent them to the Devil Islands. They could use any methods they wanted. This wasn't a simple contest of strength. The news of what happened in the third-rank Devil General's residence began to circulate throughout the Blackstone Devil sect. First, it circulated to the northern regions before spreading to the other 3 devil sections. In the past, in the 9th-rank Devil Palace, which was also the Devil Palace Lu Xuejia was in, a figure could be seen frantically rushing towards the direction of the Devil Palace. "I seek an audience with the Devil General." This person's voice was trembling. After that, a voice rang out, "Is there any news?" "Yes, Devil General." That person replied. After that, in the air above the stairway, the beautiful figure of Lu Xuejia appeared. She stared down at the person below as she coldly spoke. "Your state of heart seems to be unstable. Speak, what happened?" That person bowed, not daring to look at Lu Xuejia in the eyes. He then spoke, reporting to Devil General. Last-rank Devil General Qin Wentian brought Protector Jiyu to the third-rank Devil Palace to challenge the third-rank Devil General Zhong Yan. Courting death? Lu Xuejia's eyes flashed as she stared at the horizons. That person below trembled even more violently when he heard her words. He then continued, "Qin Wentian massacred the third-rank Devil Palace." Not long after, sounds of people greeting the Devil General rang out from the third-rank Devil Palace. It said that the original third-rank Devil General Zhong Yan died in battle and Qin Wentian succeeded the position of the third-rank Devil General. Boom! A fearsome coldness gushed forth from Lu Xuejia, as though she couldn't suppress it any longer. Her countenance turned pale as her body trembled. "Can you say that again?" Lu Xuejia's voice trembled. Qin Wentian killed Zhong Yan and succeeded the position of the third-rank Devil General. That person continued. Lu Xuejia's body trembled slightly, as though she found this unbelievable. Qin Wentian was once her protector. Not only Lu Xuejia found this hard to believe, the entire Blackstone Devil sect. When the Devil Generals in the other Devil Palaces heard this news, all of them felt their hearts trembling. Waves of commotion rose up in the Blackstone Devil sect.